Good morning, beautiful people. It is Wednesday, July 1st. Already. We still don't have any answers for what the hell's going on in the world, but we are moving into a new month, and with that comes Bobby Bonilla Day. Hey! Yes, an annual tradition, July 1st, where Bobby Bonilla gets paid $1.2 million from 2000 until 2035 by the New York Mets. Shout out to Bobby Bonilla. But Bobby Bonilla, by the way, is not the only deferred payment contract that is out there in professional sports. We got an entire list of them to talk about in the second hour. Also in the second hour, we will have Jason Terry. Yes, the Jet, former basketball player. He played in the league for 19 years. He is now coaching at Arizona, I believe, or Arizona State. He will be joining us in the second hour. Also in the second hour, Rickie Fowler, golfer, flat bill, mustache having, handsome son of a bitch talking golf. And in the first hour, we have Tyree joining us in about 29 minutes. Jeez, do some math. 10:30 Eastern Standard Time, Tyree will join us. We'll talk to him about his initiative he's got going on with his clothing line. Let me make sure I get this right. Soul Runner. They are currently having a partnership with the OK program, which is a program that is partnering the African-American community and cops together, and all the proceeds from his next Soul Runner drop will go to that. I think it's a beautiful thing. We'll talk to him about the Chiefs. We'll talk to him potentially about Stone Cold Chris Jones. Not saying he's saying he's not going to play for the Chiefs unless they give him at least $20 million. And we'll also talk about it. Are they stoppable? Like when you guys are sitting around talking in the hotel, maybe you're sitting around, Travis Kelce sitting right across there. You got Sammy Watkins to the left talking about who knows what. Then you got Clyde Edwards-Helaire right there. You got Patrick Mahomes here. You got McCole Hardman here. You got all these guys just sitting in a circle. And then the offensive line who can go one-on-one with anybody. You got them sitting down. And maybe they're having, a protein shake because that's what the modern dudes do instead of having beers or anything like that. Do you think they sit around and go, nobody can stop us? This is pretty cool here, isn't it? This right here is pretty. I would assume they would. I would if I was them. I would like to talk to him about that. And also, he has reportedly 1% body fat right now on his body. Jesus. 99% muscle on that guy.
Yikes. 99%
muscle on Tyreek Hill, who is the most explosive football player to ever step on a football field. I said it since day one. I'll say it now. I was going to draft him in the only fantasy football draft I've ever done, first overall. The person right before me took him. And I was kind of bummed about it because I was told, you don't take Tyreek Hill in the first round. You get him later. It's like, no. This guy is the best punt returner in the game if he wants to play. He's an unstoppable wide receiver, and he's 5'4" and can dunk. So, this guy is next level, could be in the Olympics if he wanted to, and he is a massive part and a massive key to success for this Chiefs team where Andy Reid literally just draws plays where he runs back and forth like this because he can run faster and longer than everybody else, and then he just gone, see you later, let's get the ball in open space. I'll hit 4 spin moves. The person will tackle air, and we'll just keep it moving. They go as Tyreek Hill goes, and it feels like for how small he is. Now, small, I'm talking football-wise, not in real life-wise. For how small he is, he's pretty durable. Like, he got hurt that one time, I thought he was done. Like, I was like, this is going to be it. All these quick twitch guys, they can kind of be high maintenance every once in a while because whenever you're that explosive, all it takes is one little thing to be off and your muscles to stop. He has been very durable. He bounced back from an injury, was somehow faster than he was before. That is a guy that is going to be tough to stop for a long, long time, and we'll talk to him about it. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are reportedly not interested in Antonia Brown. That report comes from Diana Rossini, who is obviously getting messages from different people than Michael Lombardi's getting messages from. Because Michael Lombardi, Paisan, friend of ours, writer at The Athletic, he alluded to the fact that look for the Bucs to make a big signing here soon because he believes that Tom Brady wants Antonio Brown on that team down there. And if you look at what Tom Brady and Antonio Brown were able to do in one game, he was on for one drive, and he got 7 balls and a touchdown. Literally nobody else on. Julian Edelman and Tom Brady had won Super Bowls together, MVPs together. They've been together for a long time. Didn't even look at Julian Edelman. He saw Antonio Brown on the field and was like, I'm throwing it to that guy. I want him here. He gets released from the Patriots. Tom Brady probably not happy. Remember, Antonio Brown was staying at his house. And then they stayed in contact. Antonio's Brown people's like, hey, Tom Brady and Antone talk all the time. Everybody assumed that was potentially a package deal. Then he gets down to Tampa Bay, and everybody's like, so now not only they have Godwin and Evans and a stacked wide receiver, now they're also going to get Antonio Brown down there with Gronkowski and Tom Brady. Are you kidding me? And then BA, Bruce Arians, said, nah, we're not going to do that. And then the smoke started creeping out again a little bit. And I'm not just talking the smoke that's coming out like one of those little things that you light in the living room to make the weed smell go away. I'm talking about the bong smoke that's coming out. That's, Antonio Brown potential going back to the Buccaneers. There's a lot of conversation happening right now. I would bet that Antonio Brown is on the Buccaneers this year. There's no reason Michael Lombardi would lie to us, right? Has Michael Lombardi ever lied to us?
I don't think so. No.
Kelsey called him an idiot or whatever on that Philadelphia Eagles Super Bowl parade. I would bet that Michael Lombardi, there's no reason for Michael Lombardi to lie to us. Okay, Diana Rossini, great insider, great reporter. She's done it. But I feel like there's a potential conversation that's going to happen from whoever Rossini's talking to and whoever Lombardi's potentially talking to. Those people are going to talk. And all you got to do is if Antonio Brown continues his comeback tour off the field and being a good guy, gets everything right, shows up at practice, works his ass off, and can fit in, he automatically becomes wide receiver number 1, by the way. I hate to say that to Mike Evans and Godwin, who are very, very good at what they do down there in networks. Antonio Brown is wide receiver 1 wherever he goes. That's just something that needs to be understood. Everybody hates Antonio Brown or likes to hate Antonio Brown. He made it easy for people to hate him with everything he did off the field and stuff like that. But when he gets in between the lines there ain't no stopping him. The guy is unbelievable. Just look at his workouts right now. He looks like he's more explosive out of his cuts than he was whenever he was playing. And when he was playing, he was the most explosive guy on the field. Him and Tyree Hill, very, very, very similar football players, those two. Tyreek has like 200-yard Olympic speed. Antonio Brown has this incredible, same thing, faster than everybody else on the field. Not as fast as Tyree Hill, I don't think. We'll ask Tyree Hill about that because Adam Thielen said, I would like to race Tyree Hill on that. That'd be interesting if white guy gets a win there. Hey, that would be interesting. But Antonio Brown is just so explosive, so elusive, creates separation. And if you remember when he leaves the Patriots, Tom Brady looks at the rest of the wide receivers and goes, I need you to be more explosive. I need you to get separation. I need you to do it. And that's because in his head, he was thinking about his life with Antonio Brown there for 1 week, where it did not matter if they had 2 people on him, if they had 1 person on him tight. Antonio Brown can cut on a dime and get open, no problem. And I just feel like whoever Lombardi's talking to and whoever Rossini's talking to are going to come together for a conversation and say, hey, is this about making the team better or what are we trying to do here? And I think we see Antonio Brown in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers jersey this year. Joining me today, all the boys at Nick Moraldo's here, at Tone Diggs is here, Ty Schmidt is here, Jason McAfee's here, Viva Lazito's here, rocking West Virginia. My mama, take me home, country road. I got Cincinnati sleeveless hoodie on because they gave
Cincinnati.
In Ohio.
No, take me home. Big
Cincy Road.
Dad.
Bearcats.
At Evan Fox is here. The state of Cincinnati cannot steal that song from West Virginia.
No.
But
Massachusetts could.
they do have, they almost did, but they do have much nicer sleeveless hoodies than any other school.
Really?
These things are unbelievable. I don't know how. I guess this is Under Armour's best thing they've ever made. I don't know. I've never really worn anything else that Under Armour's had, but this is the perfect hoodie, sleeveless hoodie, by the way. And I believe, a sleeveless hoodie savant.
I would say so.
Oh, yeah.
I believe I've worn more sleeveless hoodies than potentially anybody on earth at this point.
Without question.
And I seek them, and I look for them. Mm-hmm. This one's the best one that's ever been made. We can't sell them on our store because the people that do that said we can't do it.
Well, good news for you. Under Armour's got like $200 million to make more sleeveless hoodies.
Yeah, because force majeure, they got out of that UCLA contract. That's going to be, we will talk about that in a second. Evan Foxy's here. Foxy, you ever check your contract that you signed with me for a force majeure?
No, sir.
You should probably look into that a little bit.
I probably should.
Yeah, because a beard like that,
yeah,
better keep that thing trimmed, because if not, I can fire you at any time.
That's what happened to UCLA, huh?
That's force majeure, bub. Force majeure is the part of the contract that you have to read.
And you know what? That's business, baby.
I don't know. Force majeure is actually like the, I don't want to say the bad part of business, but it is kind of like the protect your ass, we can get out of this anytime we want part of the contract. And whenever you're reading through them, you got to like actually look at every single word that's being said in there, because that all the legalese are potentially going to come back and shove it right up your keys.
Are we saying force manure?
No, yeah, well, that's what it is. But yeah, it's force majeure, like major.
Oh, it's French.
Yeah, MAJEURE or something like that. It's tough. Those are real things in contracts, though, and plenty of humans have lost out on millions and millions. I was going to say if not, and then scream billions. But you get it on the phones, 1-833-622-3331 at Boston Connor.
Boys, how we doing today?
You look outrageous. You look like a guy fresh off a live PD, and I'm not talking about the cops on this one. I'm talking about the people that are getting picked up in their cars on the side of the road today. What's going on?
Oh, just doing what we do, just living how we live. I got these new shades on the way up to Michigan on Thursday, and I kind of like them, but I can't wear them because the red world is a scary place.
Yeah, you were wearing the purple ones on a golf course. You said it made you a better golfer. What's going on the dry erase board behind you there?
Oh, you just mean the most underrated candy of all time?
No, that's a different candy than what you
That
said.
is the same candy!
No, it's not.
No.
What's this?
You said
That's
Crunch
bunch
Bar.
of crunch.
That's
Yeah.
Bunch of Crunch. That's not Crunch Bar.
No, but it's the same exact company.
no.
Same
Not
company.
even.
No.
Same company.
No.
Same exact candy. Yes. This is the same. It's the Crunch Bar.
Never
Nah,
been
you
more
stink.
wrong.
These are Crunch Balls, basically.
Yeah, if you
they're-
would have said Crunch Balls,
We're gonna take that.
we would have said,
much
underrated
better.
as all hell.
Crunch. I should have been more specific. I should have just said Crunch. Is the
No,
most
that would
underrated
be
candy.
less specific, by the way. You were more specific with the Crunch Bar, and you were wrong there.
I digress.
You don't even like Crunch Bars.
No, he doesn't.
I love Crunch Bars. I had one yesterday after I got home. The first thing I did was say, "Hey, Foxy, toss me a Crunch Bar out of the fridge. Toss me a Crunch Bar."
Cracker
Hammered
bars,
it.
dude.
Anyways,
No.
if you would have came in yesterday with a bunch of Crunch, we would have all said, "Yeah, fair."
That is
That's
underrated.
a underrated
It is
treat.
underrated.
fair.
Easy
Sorry.
to eat at the movies.
Sorry, I grouped them together just like spaghetti and, penne.
Well, that's you
You
can't do that.
son of a-
Can't
What do you
do
mean?
that. Do that.
What do you mean I can't do that?
That's just not in.
You piece
Pasta.
of-
You can't do penne pasta with spaghetti
Yes, you can.
with What are you gonna just start tossing ravioli? in there,
Ravioli
too?
has cheese in it. If pasta had cheese in it, maybe.
Unless you're doing a tour to Italy at
Olive Garden.
Olive Garden.
Wait, Olive Garden was trending. Is Olive Garden dead?
I hope not. It better not be.
Oh,
You
boy.
can't kill those breadsticks and
They
salad.
endless bottomless soup and salad or whatever.
Breadsticks. my
Breadsticks.
friend.
Yeah.
But hold on, they might be dead. We should
Hold on.
we should relax
Zeke's on it.
on the compliments. They were trending yesterday, and I was like, OGs is trending. I miss OGs, and I didn't want to dive into it because honestly,
Oh no, they're just not wearing masks while they're cooking. They're fine.
No, that's
That's not great either.
in the world that we're in, that's not good either.
That was the first line I read. I might be wrong, by the way.
Their wedding soup. Put a mask on so I can enjoy the wedding soup without dying, huh? How about it?
So
you
Crunch
just can't be
Bars.
doing that.
Oh, geez, doesn't know.
That soup comes out piping hot. There's no way COVID's surviving that.
Oh, is that right?
Boiling
I
water?
don't know. I'm not a
Is it
doctor.
hotter than 120 degrees like it is in Arizona where it's just
Well,
yodely?
that's a dry heat, and obviously the soup is a wet,
wet heat.
humid
You're right,
heat.
you're right. Soup is the wettest heat.
Just ignore Florida.
Wedding soup is the only. Yeah, there's no humidity down there. Wedding soup is the only soup I really get down with. New England clam chowder. I had a little run with there.
Oh, yeah. The best.
because it's a little clumpy. It's not as much as a soup as it is a stew.
Potatoes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the
Seafood.
in wedding soup is kind of a stew as well because all you're trying to do is reach in there for the good stuff.
Get the chicken.
Balls
You
and
know what I mean?
the little noodles.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Being the only Irish person at a couple Italian dinners, really got screwed on the meatballs in my wedding soup. Just want to let you know. That. Just want to let you know
That'll
that.
happen.
I bet.
It won't happen. It should not happen.
Probably why you don't like soup. All broth.
Yeah, it's probably why I, for a very long time, before knowing I was Italian, said some pretty terrible things about the Italian people.
Well,
Yeah, I'm sorry, we don't serve freaking potato soup, man.
oh, you want to
See?
talk about potato
See?
soup, do you?
Good
Huh?
see? Intern Mid is here as well.
Boo.
You should boo yourself. You have a bad appearance. Great to talk to you, intern Mitt. Great to see you, bub.
Smart man.
Mitt, do you have all these throwback shirts? Is that like that's you go and buy those Facebook marketplace? What happened? How's this happen?
My friend buys them from he's a thrifter, and he thrift shops around Indianapolis, and then I buy them from him.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna pop some tags.
He's only got $20 in my pocket. I'm on
Does he
it.
upcharge you?
No, I get pretty good deals.
He gives you wholesale
nice.
price. He gives you.
Yeah, he clumps it up.
Oh, so this guy's kind of your bitch.
No, he's my buddy.
No, sounds like he's just out shopping for shirts for
Oh,
you.
he clumps
Yeah,
it
bitch,
up.
buddy.
I don't know why. With this outfit, he looks like he's like wanted for murder, and he's just like trying to put a different outfit on right now.
Who's that guy? Ted.
Oh,
Bundy?
he's a clue character.
All right. Jeez. All right, let's get some sports news. Steel side bottom of the Collingwood Magpies in the AFL. One of the most legendary names in the history of sport is currently being suspended for 4 games because he did not adhere to the COVID-19 rules that the AFL had put into place. And as somebody who has been in a pretty similar situation to old Steel Sidebottom, I would like to let him know that better days are ahead, but I think the AFL cracked down on our guy, Steel Sidebottom, a little bit too much. Now, Steel Sidebottom, name impeccable.
All time.
He's the vice captain, by the way, which means the assistant. He wears the A on the thing. So this guy's been around. He's a leader. He's a good player. After they lost last week, I guess old Steel Sidebottom said, hey, we need to knock the bottom out of a couple of these things, and I'm going to go after it. So Steel Sidebottom had about a beer 50, and then he had a shot or 100. And at one point, witnesses say that he was half naked and found on the streets of Australia. Now, the original report was that he took an Uber, and that was the guideline that he broke. You can't be taking an Uber. You're in lockdown. Turns out it wasn't just the Uber that he took. It was also the entire city that he was also drinking with, which, by the way, got to bring the team back. You know, after that devastating loss to the GWS Goons, sometimes you need to build the morale. Steel Sidebottom was probably doing a lot of morale building for a lot of people that day, not just himself. He is obviously either found shirt. The half naked thing is crazy because if he's just shirtless, I mean, what is it? Summer?
That's half naked.
What do you want? It's half naked.
Give him a break.
Give a guy a break. Steel Sidebottom. You see his body? I'd be shirtless as well.
Yeah.
He wasn't driving. Okay, he wasn't driving. He was very drunk, though. Very. I don't know if he was 6 A's and wasted, like TMZ reported I was, but I do believe from the story that I read about old Steel Sidebottom is he went ahead and got after it. And he's now suspended 4 games. We lose our vice captain after losing to a team we should have lost to, and everything seems to be spiraling out of control for the Collingwood Magpies, even though our guy Cockzilla came back in the 4th quarter. It feels like the Collingwood Magpies are potentially in trouble, especially because we got a partying problem in the locker room.
Well, I mean, when you have a porn star name, you have to do porn star things. You have to live up to your name, and that's just, I mean, that's his parents' fault, if we're being honest.
Steel Sidebottom is one of the greatest names I've ever heard in my
And
entire life.
he might get sick. The high today in Collingwood is 51 degrees.
Well, I'll tell you what, as somebody who's been shirtless while intoxicated in 28-degree weather, can't even feel it. Can't even feel it. Feels pretty good. Feels pretty good.
I was just going out and having a couple pints after the game.
That's when I learned my immune system was a G, though. I learned my immune system after that was a G. I'm like, look at this, guys. Because I assumed I'd be sick. Incredibly sick the next day, maybe the next week, not be able to, because who knows if I did fall into the canal. We don't know. It's all alleged. If I did fall into that and got it, who knows what's in there, let alone walking around like 28, 29-degree weather. I mean, it was just, and then the next couple of days, I was like, we're going to learn a lot about this old body. And I was like, to be honest, better than I've ever been. I mean, it's quite a sobering feeling when you wake up in jail. So I didn't have a hangover. I had more so like, oh my God, I'm going to be cut from this team. My life is over. And once you get past that feeling, it was like the body not too shabby. I'm sure there's some positive Steel Sidebottom will feel from this. A little chilly there. It feels good about the body and the immune system. But in 4 weeks, when we get Steel Sidebottom back, look out. It's a bad day to be a beer in Australia. When Steel Sidebottom comes back, it's a bad day to be a beer.
How
This confirms.
difficult do you think it is for guys to return to play after like you have this long quarantine and then he's out? He's sidelined a month now too.
Let's just pivot right into either the MLS or the NBA. Okay, so we'll pivot from this. He went out and got drunk after the loss, was found shirtless. Police found him. Obviously, you're going to get suspended for that regardless. But they said it was a violation of the COVID-19 rollback rules or something like that. So now let's go down to Orlando, where the MLS is starting in 7 days, and the NBA is supposed to start in 29 days. So whenever you think about that, Stephen A. Smith went on a big, long rant. We talked about this, I think, like a month ago whenever this was announced about going in there. I actually said, what are they going to have to – are they going to have a thought chopper? Are they going to have a thought chopper that flies in there? Because what are guys going to do? You're expecting these dudes for 70 to 80 days, whether they're married, whether they're young and not married, whether they have girlfriends. Who knows what they do off the court. I'm just saying I don't want – they could be completely, by the way, some guys may be complete virgins. I'm just saying, for some of the people in the NBA, though, that whole being locked into that dome is going to be a problem. I mean, that is going to be, you're talking about people who have some of the most freedom and are on the road a lot and have done a lot of things, and now they're being locked in there, let alone, let's not even talk about the not able to leave and go see your family. Let's not even talk about being adults, men who probably enjoy potentially having sex once a month, maybe. I don't know. Maybe more. Hey, maybe 4 times a week, maybe 10 times a week. Who knows? We don't know what anybody's doing with their penises. We're just saying for at least 35 to 40 days, the losing teams are not going to be able to do anything. And then you go on that. If you want to go win this thing, 80 days, you got to be locked down there without your family. I mean, that is an insane ask. We talked about it a month ago. Stephen A. Smith brought it up. And if Stephen A. Smith's bringing it up, that means somebody in the NBA is talking to Stephen A. Smith. They're like, hey, do you think that we don't think this? And I said, hey, the thought chopper might be the thing, but Adam Silver said nobody's getting in there and breathing the same air, he said, as NBA players if they haven't been tested, screened, and already in the biodome. So that whole situation is going to be interesting. Then the MLS is locking them down on July 8th. Those guys are allowed to train, and then they go back to their hotel room. Then they practice, and they go back to their hotel room. They're not even allowed to play ping pong like the NBA guys are. They're in a whole different level. And there was a picture posted of the food that the MLS say that they're going to get. I don't know who posted this. I don't know how this got out there, but this is what the MLS people were reporting is the food, because remember, the 3 meals are being sent to their hotel rooms because they're not allowed to go eat anywhere else. I don't know how the MLS and the NBA's rules are so different, but the MLS, we talked to Tony Meola, got the short end of the stick on these guidelines, and that is the Firefest meal that these MLS guys are going to be getting. Zito, flip over to that one. That is the MLS meal. That is the Firefest meal. It sure looks damn similar. Now, granted, there's some meat and a banana, but aside from that, that is going to be a tough thing for these MLS players to handle now. And now we know the MLS doesn't have a lot of negotiating power whenever it comes to really anything, whenever it's competing against the NBA, right? This is what happens whenever you are 6 or 7 league in America, okay? But they try to get back earlier, July 8th. They're going down to the same place the NBA is going. Tony Meola laid out the rules and guidelines for what it is. That looks terrible. That's going to be a problem.
Yep.
Then let's talk about the non-fornication for however long. That's going to be a problem. And the more and more we think about it, the more and more I think about these are humans down there. This is going to be tough to handle. But that means that if you win the COVID MLS Cup or the COVID NBA championship, you were able to mentally tough yourself through outstandingly terrible conditions and still win a game. Now that's what I'm here for. That is what I'm here for.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
That was tweeted out by Omar Gonzalez. He plays for Toronto FC, and then underneath his tweet, another one of the players tweeted out his meal. He ordered a different thing, but very similar result.
That's tough, and this is what the MLS players agreed to, though, and this is why these negotiations, especially with the NFL and the NFLPA that are about to happen for going back into training camp, Randall Cobb tweeted out yesterday that there's going to be a league-wide conversation about the players so they know what they're signing up for and getting back into. All these conversations behind the closed doors that are supposed to happen behind closed doors that are now going to happen publicly because that's the world that we live in, all those business conversations that are happening are going to be a big deal. They're going to be a big deal. But all any of us say, especially somebody who has a sports show, is, oh, figure it out. Take some Jergens. 22 minutes after the hour. That sucks, though. I mean,
there's going to be a
it
lot
would suck so bad. And there's people watching like, oh, getting paid millions of dollars to go play basketball. It's like, agreed. Hey, listen, agreed. People are paid a lot of money. Not everybody's making millions of dollars. But when you think about this, these are humans going down there.
Yeah.
I mean, this is going to be a very interesting situation.
There's going to be a lot of humans dressed as bushes, either sneaking in or sneaking out.
Without bushes, though, because
Just 2020.
from here down. 22 minutes after the hour, we're back on the other side. This is the Pat McAfee Show.
He's saying don't go off the top, it's too shallow.
All you're going to hear this stadium do is they put the big paw up, they start shaking it, they go, whoa. Hey, look, things are going good, Mason. Yeah, he loves the defensive side of the ball. He said yesterday to me that this is a blue-collar team. They win it on special teams. They have 5 block kicks this season. The defensive side of the ball, Lynch leads the Big 12 in sacks. But also on the offensive side, Denzel Mims is an absolute animal. He is a weapon. Charlie Brewer, the quarterback from Lake Travis. His dad was a quarterback in Texas. Yeah. His grandpa was a quarterback in Texas. And the people here in Waco just so happen to get a chance to see Charlie Brewer on a daily basis. Okay. Hey. Boomer here is going to mean a little bit different than what it means on the internet currently. And hopefully here in Baylor, they hope they're not hearing a lot of Boomer sooner. Everybody wants to be a punter, including quarterbacks. If I was a quarterback, I'd want to be a punter as well. 0 yards on that punt. That's an embarrassing situation. The Dak dance that gets on national television has led to a lot of losses, but you got to respect the hips being able
What sign am I going to make for college game day? Well, I want to make something creative. I want to make something fun. No, to hell with it. I don't like OU.
It's so thick. Look how thick that thing is. That's years and years of patience.
You're heading right for the boat.
Right now?
For the boat.
Okay, let's do it.
We are out here on the Brazos River, which you can take a boat to the game. One of the only stadiums in the country that you can do that. It's beautiful out here. A lot of people would say, this is the last time I'm going to be on game day. The last time I allegedly did what I'm about to do, I ended up in a jail cell. Let's go! A lot higher than I thought.
You look like Ric Flair. That was a sellout, by the way. That was beautiful.
Do we have any other shirts? Yeah, hold on.
You need to go get changed before you get sick.
Great work, Russia. I'm actually not that cold. Hey, I went for it. My chest hurts. It was like 5 feet. I was standing there. That's full commitment, by the way.
Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show here, Wednesday, July 1st, which in the sporting world, I believe is referred to as Bobby Bonilla Day because Bobby Bonilla receives $1.2 million until the year 2035 by the New York Mets. So congratulations to Bobby Bonilla. He has been getting this since the year 2000, so that is a 35-year deal. Okay, not a bad setup. Seems to be brilliant. And I've always talked about this. I go to a gas station. If I see scratch-offs, I'm grabbing them. And you know which ones I'm grabbing? I'm grabbing the ones that give you like $1,000 a week for the rest of your life. I'm grabbing the ones that give you $7,000 a month for the rest of your life. I'm grabbing the ones that for 50 years because I think that if I know that at least something's coming forever, I could sleep better at night. And the fact that baseball agents are doing this for baseball players is absolutely brilliant. But we learned quickly this morning with a little search that Bobby Bonilla, not the only one and not the only sport that is making and getting these incredible long-term deals. We made a list of our favorites here. Ken Griffey Jr. is getting $3.6 million each year since 2009 all the way through 2024 from the Cincinnati Reds. So he's still in the middle of getting $3.6 million each year from the Cincinnati Reds. Kevin Garnett, basketball, how's it going? Retired in 2016. The Celtics owe him $5 million a year until the 2021-2022 season. That's an extra 6 years of getting $5 million. Good for him, good for Kevin Garnett, good for whoever thought about doing that deal, and good for him getting paid. Darren Williams, friend of the show, guy I golfed with, beat by the way. Shout out to my golf championship. He was making $15,000 a day for the last 5 years from the Brooklyn Nets. That just ended, I believe, yesterday.
Yeah.
It ended up being $27 million or something like this. This was happening while he was retired playing golf every year and doing jiu-jitsu at his house and at his gym that he owns down in Dallas. Rick
DiPietro.
whatever his name is, retired in 2013. He gets $1.5 million a year until 2029 from the Islanders. Welcome to the game, NHL. Manny Ramirez, Red Sox pay him $2 million a year from 2008 until 2026. Josh Smith, waived by the Pistons in 2015. They paid him $5.3 million a year until 2020. So 5 more years of getting paid doing absolutely nothing. This happens with a lot of coaches and obviously a lot more players. Darryl Strawberry, $1.64 million a year until 2033 from the Mets. Shout out to the Mets paying people in perpetuity, including Brett Saberhagen, who $250,000 a year until 2028 by the Mets. You can tell the Mets had no money when they were negotiating deals. They're like, listen, we'll get you down the road. We'll get you down the road.
We'll get your money.
Hey, we'll get your money. Now they're paying out over $6 million a year until 2028 at least. Max Scherzer, Ryan Braun, Ryan Zimmerman, Matt Holliday, Chris Davis, Albert Pujols, and Ichiro all have these deals that pay them for the long haul. This is brilliant. This is something I wish the NFL could do, but since the NFL has a salary cap, they will no longer be able to do it, and the NHL can't do it anymore because they made it illegal. I would assume when they put in a salary cap, is that what happened, or what was the deal?
No, you can still buy out players, but it's a lot more organized now, and they stopped the long-term deals, the 15-year deals. The max now you can sign is 8 years.
So these are the type of deals, though, that the players in the MLB love. Like, I would love this deal. Bobby Bonilla, probably a legend. That's why a lot of baseball players have this deal. But if they put in a salary cap, which the players were scared that the MLB was going to do, these deals no longer exist because if you retire in 10 years, do they still have to pay $2.5 million towards the cap if they're going to pay Bobby Bonilla or Ken Griffey Jr. for 45 years? Nobody knows how that works. I wish the NFL allowed these types of deals, though. I would have signed that thing stat. All right, we got a 15-year, $2 million a year for the next 15 years. For you guys, that's a good deal. 10 years, I'm going to be real good. You guys pay me $2 million. That's all. That's no problem at all. Imagine Patrick Mahomes signing a $10 million a year for the next 20-year deal instead of the $200 million deal that they have to do. They'd never be able to do it because of salary cap. If he retired in 10 years, they would have to take $10 million off of it for the next 10 years after that, I believe. But, boy, these are the deals. Bobby Bonilla, absolute legend. These guys that work these deals, brilliant. And it's just like my scratch-offs, just times 200. And I love it. I absolutely love that deal.
These guys like Pujols and Ryan Zimmerman, who get $10 million a year once they retire for 10 years after that, is
that's quite a good retirement plan.
Oh, yeah.
Let's
Not
put a
bad.
retirement plan into the contract. How about this? You guys, I'll cut you guys like maybe a little bit of deal, $3-4 million less a year. Then as soon as I retire, by the way, for the next 10 years after that, we're going to get that back now. And it's just when I retire, you guys can move it around, slide it around, however you want to do it. Doesn't take anything off the salary cap. And we just keep it moving. I think it's a brilliant setup. It's a good idea. And for the teams, anytime some business doesn't have to give out money now, they love it. Anytime a business doesn't have to put out money right now and they can defer it, they love it. I am the complete opposite. I would rather pay everybody everything. I don't lease anything. Probably a bad financial move. I own everything. I don't lease any cars. I've bought, 8 cars at this point. Only drive one of them. Wasted money, but I refuse to lease it. I want to get it. I don't want to owe anybody anything. Houses, same thing. I was told, don't buy a house. Don't buy a house. You don't know what's going to happen. Got drunk, bought a house, went to the Kentucky Derby, came back, closed on the house, went on a vacation for a month, almost got my house foreclosed on because I thought it was on automatic pay, but I hate leasing or owing anybody anything. So if the businesses, though, get a chance to owe somebody 20 years now instead of putting up that money now, they love it. I'm the complete opposite. I would rather get my money now. But if I find somebody that'll pay me for the next 30 years a certain amount of money, I am signing that thing as fast as possible.
Well, that's like the saying, I will gladly pay you tomorrow for a cheeseburger today. That's what these businesses or the baseball teams are doing.
Hey, Tony business.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tony business.
And how about Ichiro just throwing interest on top of it?
Yeah, 5.5% interest, by the way. If you guys want to do this BS, the longer this thing lasts, this $25 million. So Ichiro's deal is he will get $25 million at a 5.5% interest rate over the years after his retirement until at least 2032.
Yes, so.
I have no idea what that means. Is the 5.5% interest rate on what they owe him yearly or on the overall price? Nobody knows. But the fact that he was taxing them, he's like, well, listen, if you guys don't want to pay me now, I got to tax you. That's like if you need to pass the blunt to somebody, you got to tax them. Hey, listen, you could have got up and got it. That was on you. Tax them, got to do it. If you're passing food, take a little something that you could have got up. You didn't. So I got to tax you for it. 5.5% interest rate is a good interest rate too, as well for Ichiro.
So that's
He might be able to play until 2032 too, right?
I mean, he could.
Well, that's
He's not, but
He
could.
could play if
Yeah.
he really wanted to.
That's interesting because the NHL has a standard format where it's 2/3 of the remaining salary over twice the length of the deal that you buy the player out for.
Oh, okay. Let me get out my calculator real quick. What?
So they put this in to avoid situations like this a couple years ago with their CBS. So if you, let's say you sign an 8-year deal, you play through 6 years of it, and at that point you're determined. You stink now, you're not worth your salary. They'll buy you out, so you're going to get 4 more years on your deal at 2/3 of your normal salary.
Smart. See, that's good business. That's good business. And these baseball business things that's why I thought the MLB was trying to blow up the season, because I thought they were trying to blow up all the contracts, because nobody understands how baseball is able to pay this amount of money to the people. I don't understand how. Oh, they have a lot of games. I get it. But aside from some cities, there's a lot of games that are probably costing them money for more workers being in the stands than actual fans. I mean, that's just, I could be wrong there. I could be short-sighted. I'm sure some baseball nut is going to be like, nah, every single day they make at least blah, 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 which makes sense. But these deals that the MLB set, it feels like with the rest of the leagues are like the players are all trying to get to the MLB, like guaranteed contracts, massive deals. Okay, let's hemorrhage the teams. If they want to spend, let's spend. But if you're the league, the MLB, and you look around at what the NFL does and what the NHL does and everybody else, if you're the MLB, you got to be like, we have to somehow figure out a way to stop. We're paying guys for 50 years. They don't even play. We're paying guys still.
In a couple of these contracts, I saw they set them up as like personal service contracts after they retire. Do you think they still have obligations to the team then that they have to fulfill?
Autograph signings, I would assume.
Almost.
Go sit in suites with sponsors. I would assume there's some way that you earn this $1 million a year, $2 million a year, $10 million. I assume there's something you got to do, but there's probably a limit on that as well, because if guys retire, the last thing they probably want to do is go hang out at a baseball park every single night to earn a paycheck. That's probably a deal that's negotiated between the owner and the player. How you doing, Becker? Is he?
Tyreek's hard to catch off and on the field, Can't get him.
Hard to catch on and off the field.
Can't get him.
Not a bad football pun right there by you.
You like that?
Look at you.
I didn't use the bathroom one today.
Has Tyreek Hill been paid? No.
Yeah, he had an extension this year, like
Did he?
3 years, 60-something million.
See, he's had some stuff off the field, right? Obviously, not good.
2 year maybe.
But he still got paid because I believe that conversations, the way that whole thing panned out was something much different than it was maybe initially reported. I didn't do enough investigation on that, but that's a guy that in 2 years from now, if he continues to do what he's going to do, and off the field everything continues in a way that it's going, he's going to get all the money. Then you start looking at that roster, and you go, Patrick Mahomes is going to get all the money. Then you look at Travis Kelce, you're like, Travis Kelce is at some point going to get all the money. Then you look on the defense side of the ball, you see Tyrann Mathieu, he's going to get all the money. Then you look at Chris Jones, Stone Cold Chris Jones, D tackle, number 2 D tackle in the game behind Aaron Donald. Guy is a game wrecker. He did that to the Tennessee Titans. I mean, ask Derrick Henry, who was running through everybody when he thinks Chris Jones, Stone Cold Chris Jones. He's on the franchise tag. He said, I'm not playing unless they pay me $20 million a year. The Chiefs are going to be in a business issue at some point. They're going to have to pay Patrick Mahomes. They're going to keep him. But what are they going to do with everybody else that is going to want and deserve a lot of money? It's the business of the NFL. Not going to be able to do it. Who's going to leave? Who's going to stay? Who are they going to bring in to replace? That's going to be when Andy Reid gets tested truly. And what Andy Reid's been able to do is replace players in a quick fashion and cheap fashion. Him bringing in McCole Hardman has been next level for them. I don't know if anybody expected him to be as good as he is. But the Chiefs are going to run into a problem at some point. I've been saying it for, obviously, everybody's been saying this in the sports world because we just have brains. But this Chris Jones thing is potentially the first crack in the entire, I don't want to say unraveling, but potential unraveling of this Chiefs team that when you win, they say when you win, there's enough to go around. That's like the old saying, like, hey, if we win, there's enough to go around. If we win, if you just focus on winning, everybody gets paid. I don't think it's possible for the Chiefs. I don't know if it's possible for the Chiefs to get paid. They have too many people. Look at the Rams. The Rams paid everybody. They had to cut everybody. The Dallas Cowboys are going to run into the same damn problem. Chiefs are going to owe Patrick Mahomes $200 million, they say. They're going to run that problem. And Stone Cold Chris Jones said, What? I want 20.
What?
Make it 21.
What?
You want to offer me 15?
What?
What? Everybody knows I'm the second best D tackle in the game behind Aaron Donald. That guy trains with knives, though. What am I supposed to do?
What?
I'm going to come out here for the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm going to be a run stopper. I'm going to be a disruptor, but I'm going to need at least $20 million.
What?
Then I'm going to take 2 beers.
What?
3 beers.
What?
1 vodka.
What?
2 tequilas.
What?
I'm going to go over to Andy Reid's house and maybe get a cheeseburger.
What?
Maybe a pizza.
What?
And then I am going to celebrate another Super Bowl championship with the Kansas City Chiefs if they can figure out how to pay me a massive amount of money. What? 38 minutes after the hour, we got to get to a break. Tyreek Hill maybe getting postponed.
So fast. Him or Kelsey? It got to be Hill, right? Especially with Mahomes, you can throw the ball a country mile.
So it depends on what happens with the George Kittle deal. If George Kittle's getting $20 million, which everybody's thinking is going to happen, which would completely change the tight end game. Travis Kelce and George Kittle are the only 2. And I guess Gronk, if Gronk is back. Those 3 are going to be... Shut up. Those 3 tight ends are going to be paid differently than all the other tight ends. So whatever happens with Kittle's deal, probably Travis Kelce is going to expect damn near the same thing.
Yeah.
Which he should, by the way. Won a Super Bowl, too. Kittle has not won a Super Bowl. Tyreek Hill, though, is a game changer. He's an alien. What are you going to do? You're not going to find him. You can't find Travis Kelce either. It's going to be one or the other. Andy Reid, though, I think loves the thought of having a guy that is just faster than every human on the planet and being able to do whatever. Does he think he could just sub it in somebody replace
Hardman?
Travis Kelce? Can't. But Cole Hardman is fast.
For Hill.
But he's not Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill against the New England Patriots. You saw this primetime television.
Yeah.
There was 3 people standing around him. He turned around, ran backwards, and then in a 5-yard space. If that was Oklahoma drills, he wouldn't have been touched by 3 New England Patriot defenders who are the most technically sound defenders in the league normally.
He caught the ball and he was flat-footed. He was just standing there and he just went behind and went around.
Shane Leckler. Have you played Kansas City yet? No. He said, when you get that snap, you just punt that son of a bitch straight out of bounds. Do not punt the ball to Tyreek Hill. Don't even think. I've punted to everybody, Pat. Tyreek Hill, before I even had my head up to say, damn good punt, he was already on the other side of the field. I don't understand. Just don't punt the ball to him. We probably won't have him on the show today, but it was nice to talk about that. We're back on the other side with, now we can't have, I have no idea. We'll figure it out. This is the Pat McAfee Show. We are moments before going out onto the field and kicking some field goals to raise a crap ton of money for the kids. And I'm about to become an old man. Said I do this, then I do this, then I do this. Oh, Cuzzy. Oh my God. You want a little bit of that grandpa? Hey, you see, you go, and then, I'm just so excited we can raise some money because that's what we're here for. What's going on? Hey, hey, hey. It is hard to see down. Cool, Grandpa. There's no way I lived this long in real life.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for our contestant and cheer him on as he attempts to raise $70,000 for cancer research. On your mark, get set, go!
I've been a fan of the Colts since the Mayflower came from Baltimore.
I don't know, sir. You sound a little familiar.
This is the greatest city on earth. And ladies and gentlemen, it was my honor to raise $70,000 for cancer research. sorry I missed a couple. I'm an old man. Let's go. Let's beat
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Pat McAfee and $70,000 towards cancer research. Go Colts!
And the ball's leaning back. Couldn't see. It's a lot more difficult seeing. Hi! Old man's got a hammer.
If you are listening to this show right now, I want you to take a second and look down. When was
Hold
the
on
last-
1 second.
Yeah, go ahead.
I will say that every time that thing starts, if you're listening to this show right now,
Which you are.
which they are, that's an interesting beginning there for you. You know, it kind of sets you up to sound like a stooge, but somehow, Diggs, you make it sound good every single time.
Thank you.
No problem. Ian from SeatGeek, I don't know if you guys saw him tweeting last night.
Oh, no. What'd he say?
He said that, I'm not going to say it. I'll let you finish this because we got to cut this up and send it to the people. But he's talking about scripts.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Well, I don't read a script. Script reads me. Manscaped is the only men's brand dedicated to below-the-waist grooming and hygiene. Manscaped is forever changing the grooming game with their Perfect Package 3.0 Essentials Kit. The perfect tools for your family jewels. The Perfect Package 3.0 kit. 3.0 kit. Zito. Comes with a new and improved Lawnmower 3.0 waterproof
Who's reading who?
cordless body trimmer and a ton of other liquid formulations to round out your manscaping routine. Subscribers get a new replacement blade refill for your lawnmower trimmer delivered to your door every 3 months, making sure your trimmer always stays fresh and clean. This is the perfect package for your perfect package. Get 20% off and free shipping with code America at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with code America at manscaped.com.
You gotta remember, we went to a very public school, and I mean, education is not the home run of Plumboro, Pennsylvania. But Diggs, you did well there.
Thank you.
Diggs, what day is it today?
July 1st.
Which is not only Bobby Bonilla Day, it's actually another rather large day. It is Canada Day. Since Tyree blew off the show, we now are being joined by our Canadian friend, which was going to happen in the second hour, but it's happening now, to celebrate Canada Day and give us some locks. This man has been hot in the soccer gambling world on FanDuel. Ladies and gentlemen, he's locked in Canada, but he wishes he was with us, and we wish he was too. Our friend Gumpy with some locks.
Hey, pal. I'm locked in Canada, so here's some of my locks.
Gumpy.
There you go.
Boys.
Hey, that son of a bitch over your left shoulder, that move on the sideline last night that you posted.
Do you see his penalty shot? He did the Panenka. He chipped it down the middle after he did that.
Oh,
700, right?
Oh, crafty.
Filthy.
Who do you think's better, by the way, over your shoulder there, Ronaldo or Messi? Ronaldo's a billionaire. Messi is not.
Ronaldo's my GOAT because he's done it on the international level. He's carried Portugal to championships.
Yeah.
Messi hasn't done it.
Yeah, but you gotta remember, don't cry for me, Argentina. They don't like Messi. They give him all this hell. The guy, what is he supposed to do? Put the entire country on his back? Is that what they expect the guy every single time? And then he goes home to death threats, and he's like, all right, to hell with this. I don't even want to play with this damn team.
They're both the GOATs. They're great.
Nah,
Let's enjoy both of them, right?
Nah, Christian Pulisic or whatever the hell.
That's my guy. Thank you, sir.
Hey, congrats to your Liverpool squad. It is Canada Day, so you claiming Pulisic is very interesting. But congrats to Liverpool. You never walk alone, Gump.
Thank you, boys. It's been a long time coming, and shed a few tears, I'm not going to lie.
Now, I could imagine, and I assume the way you talked about the last Liverpool game you went to, that was a celebration in the bar that you were in with a lot of things going on. I'm sure the energy was rather high up there. Gumpy, you're the least Canadian that we have ever met.
Yeah.
Right.
But can you tell us what the hell Canada Day is? And today is Canada Day, right?
Yeah, it's basically like July 4th. Everyone just goes downtown, fireworks, same sort of deal. Not as big, obviously.
What's it for?
Canada.
What, you guys didn't
Just
get
a
Independence?
celebration.
Is it for Independence Day, or what is it, just to celebrate Canada?
See, these are the questions that I should know the answers to, but I really don't.
The least Canadian guy of all time. Well, it can't be Independence, right? Because you guys still pay the Queen still.
Yeah,
Right,
Spain.
exactly.
Right.
I mean,
Not
they're
really.
still being taxed without being represented.
So I actually kind of like this move. If Canada was like, let's cuck the American celebration by 3 days. Let's go July 1st, and we'll just celebrate our country just in general. I actually like that move. I respect that move a lot by you Canadians.
It's a good move.
Go ahead.
Apparently, they had 3 separate colonies. And on July 1st, 1867, those 3 colonies came together to create Canada.
Oh, so
I knew that. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, so you guys are like a friend now. So it was once 3 teams, then the 3 became one. Need someone now. Gumpy, what are we betting on today on Canada Day? Whenever you learned what Canada Day was as a Canadian.
We got EPL, Syria, and La Liga today, Pat.
Okay, so we're going England, Syria, and Italy. Okay, what do we got?
We're taking Newcastle plus a goal at Bournemouth.
Newcastle +1 at Bournemouth. Okay.
Bournemouth's 1-6 against the spread as favorites. And where they play, it's a small field. So when there is a crowd, the crowd gets on top of you. That's not an issue here. And Newcastle hasn't lost since the return.
All right, when you see a small pitch, by the way, it feels like the ball can really fly. I mean, that's what they say over there. What else we got, Gump?
We're also in the La Liga. I love this one. Villarreal draw no bet over Real Betis. Villarreal has only dropped 2 points in 5 games since the return of La Liga.
Draw no bet. I mean, do you guys speak a different language in Canada? Is that what does that mean? You're betting them to draw there, no bet? What's that mean?
No, so it's basically a pick 'em. If you pick them, they win, you get the money. If it's a draw, you get your money back. That's on FanDuel.
Oh, that because the draw is like a plus like 300, 400 every single time. Yeah. So now FanDuel's like, hey, you pick this team, they win, they draw, get your money back because nobody over here likes that. That's awesome that FanDuel is doing that. Nicest people on earth.
Best company on
Best
earth.
sports book on earth.
sports book on
Yeah.
earth.
You ain't getting that from your little corner bookie or anything.
No way.
Hey, you know what? They draw, take your money back. We don't like that over here. Take your money back. What's next?
We're also going to do a draw no bet. Atletico Bilbao at Valencia. Atletico Bilbao's only loss in 5 was a 1-0 loss against Barca. Valencia just fired their coach, and they're in shambles.
Oh, no. Can't fire a coach in the middle of quarantine, can you?
No.
They're 2-5-3 in their last 10, and they've lost their last 2.
Oh, you can fire your coach in the middle of quarantine. Whatever that's. Yep. Okay, so we got Newcastle +1. We got Villarreal draw, no bet. Atletico Bilbao.
Yep. And also take Levante +1 at Valladolid.
Is this one of your like, I'm just going to throw this out there ones, or is this a real?
No, Pat, 25-10-1 the last 7 days.
Is that good?
So every bet is a good bet.
Levante, happy Canada Day. I'm happy we could tell you what it was. We can't wait to take Levante, Atletico Bilbao, Villarreal, and Newcastle +1. Gumpy, you're the absolute best, pal.
Miss you, boys. See you, 2021, 2022, probably.
Yeah, 2023 maybe. Hey, who knows? I guess quarantine's coming, or COVID-19's coming back with a vengeance. Gumpy, you're the best, ladies and gentlemen, our friend.
There you go.
Happy Canada Day, Gump.
Cheers, boys.
All right, we got Jason Terry, I think, joining us in the next hour. We'll talk to him. We'll talk about more life. This is the Pat McAfee Show, Wednesday, July 1st. Also, Canada Day. So what happened there, you think?
I don't know.
He called back in the middle of Gumpy's thing?
Yeah, I was told.
So that's 23 minutes late. At least he called back, I guess. I don't have...
Yeah, we just had a missed call from him, and I don't know what happened. I think he might have been in the bathroom.
He was working out, is what I was told.
Well, hey, you got to do what you got to do. And you don't fall to 1% body fat.
Wait, they told you workout, not bathroom?
They did say workout.
They did say workout, yeah.
Let's do some phone calls here as we wrap up hour one. Let's go to Cameron in Massachusetts. What's going on, Cameron? Are you a stooge like everybody else up there?
How's it going, Pat?
Not too shabby, thanks. How are you?
Doing good. I was wondering, do you think McDaniels will have to adjust to Newton's style of play? Should Newton be the starting quarterback? Or do you think that Newton will have to adjust to the Patriots playbook or McDaniels playbook, rather, since they've only had a quarterback with a 5-1 as their fastest.
All right, Cameron. Okay, 6 Super Bowls later. Let's have a little fucking respect for the guy. Bill Belichick is one of the greatest coaches. He's the greatest coach of all time because each week is a different game plan, and the game plan revolves around what his players do well and what the other players don't do well on the other team. So he literally says, just like we did with Matt Castle, just like we did with Tom, just like we did with Jacoby, just like we did with Jimmy G, we try to play to our players' strengths however that's possible. So will Cam Newton have to learn their lingo, their language, their verbiage, everything like that? Absolutely. I assume that is going to be a grueling task too, especially with an offense that is probably as deep as it is, because you have to have a different game plan in the Patriot world for every single week. So he'll have to do that. But this offense will be shaped around what Cam Newton does well. And I know Diana Rossini was texting with Adam Gase. She said she was texting with an AFC East head coach. So whenever you go through the AFC East head coaches, it's not Bill Belichick. He's not texting with Diana Rossini. It's not going to be McDermott, because it just doesn't feel like McDermott's a guy that's texting with reporters. I don't think that. And Brian Flores, who used to coach for the Patriots, I would assume he's not going to say anything about the Patriots. So Diana Rossini was texting with Adam Gase. Now, that could be wrong. It could be any of the other ones, but her text, can we pull this text up? Or this tweet up? Diana Rossini tweeted that an AFC East head coach and her were texting, and they said that they see the Patriots basically having all 3 quarterbacks live each week, with Cam Newton being the wild card. They said they don't know anything about anything, but they knew that the Patriots love Jarrett Stidham. And I would say this, that AFC East head coach is a head coach for a reason. He's probably smart, maybe. I don't know. Head coach, there are a lot of bad head coaches that get jobs, but he probably thought that they loved Jarrett Stidham, and they probably did love Jarrett Stidham until they learned that they could get Cam Newton for the same fucking price that they're basically paying Jarrett Stidham for. I mean, like a $600,000 difference or whatever. Yep. This is a whole new ball game. And I think anybody that says that Cam Newton's not, now maybe week 1, Cam Newton's not starter because he's, a month out right now from training camp and maybe not be able to learn. But Cam Newton is going to be whether or not this team goes this year. That is just, the Patriots are going to go if Cam Newton's going to go. Now, last year, the defense carried them. The defense was incredible. The offense was very inefficient. It was obviously something that frustrated Tom because he didn't have any weapons or anything like that. And they still potentially have the lack of weapons. They have a lack of weapons that they could potentially fix. But with N'Keal Harry coming back, Julian Edelman, Mohamed Sanu, and Cam Newton are already working out. That tight end from Virginia Tech, Dalton Keene, who you love, and a lot of people are talking shit on, and he's hearing it. Yep. So I like that. I like anybody that's like, keep talking bad about me. Dalton Keene with Sony and James White in the backfield. And if they do this offense where Cam can move and run and ground and pound, you don't need as many weapons. Look at what Baltimore did. Now, I'm not saying Cam Newton and Lamar Jackson are anywhere near the same player. They're not. Lamar Jackson is a very different specimen than Cam Newton is. I mean, that's at 2 different stages of their career. But Cam Newton is still 6'14" and can run people over. And with that offense evolving, you don't need as many weapons because you're not just sitting back there, because you can make plays yourself. And then also, whenever you're thinking about running, people come up, it makes people open to begin with. This isn't going to be a very different looking offense with Cam Newton in there, and I think it's going to be one that is going to be very good. And I think they go as Cam goes. If Jarrett Stidham's the starter week 1, like that AFC East head coach who we can assume is Adam Gase. I mean, we can assume that is Adam Gase talking right there. If he thinks Jarrett Stidham's going to be the starter for week 1, maybe, but that's going to be Cam Newton's team going down the stretch.
Yeah, so you're telling me Josh McDaniels is going to draw up all these plays for Cam Newton and then just sit on him the first week of the NFL season? Like, there's no way that he is. You don't think he's going to come out there and just start throwing them around?
Well, it depends on when.
Blow his load week 1.
Well, they can't work together right now, right?
Yeah.
Him and Mohamed Sanu working together is a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing obviously workouts wherever they're at. I got hair in my mouth. What the fuck? But if you don't have these workouts and you don't have the timing, maybe there's a reason why Jarrett Stidham's been around. They'll have him start.
Okay.
But anybody that doesn't think this is Cam Newton's team is stupid.
Yep.
Like, I just think this guy is a baller. And maybe I'm underestimating Jarrett Stidham, Studham, whatever you want to call him.
Stud.
But Cam Newton, everybody's like, how is this guy even available for the Patriots right now? Nobody knows. Good morning, beautiful people. It is Wednesday, July 1st, also known as Canada Day, also known as Bobby Bonilla Day. Woo! Shout out to Bobby Bonilla. Yeah, way to go, Bobby. In the first hour, we had a great conversation with nobody. Gumpy. We had a conversation with Gumpy.
Mm-hmm.
This hour, we will be having conversations with Rickie Fowler and Jason the Jet Terry, who played in the NBA for 19 years. He'll be joining us in about 15 minutes. Rickie Fowler will be joining us in about 30 minutes. Can't wait to chat with both of them. We recorded the Rickie Fowler conversation this morning, which we never do, by the way. Never, ever pre-record, but we're a big golf show. Just went on an entire golf weekend. Got a chance to talk to Rickie Fowler. You're going to enjoy the conversation. Didn't give us anything breaking, but boy, there's a couple sound bites out of there that I think people are going to enjoy, and his mustache looks phenomenal. We'll talk to Jason Terry about the Orlando situation, about what's going on down there. We'll talk to him about, what was it like being a shooter back in the day when being a shooter wasn't really the main focal point of teams. Does he think he could potentially score 60 a night right now if he was on a team that really loved the three ball? Because that guy, I think overall is number 4 in the history of the NBA. Seven overall in the history of the NBA and three-pointers made. That is a guy who was well before his time, especially with what the league is now. Can't wait to chat with him in 15 minutes. Very thankful he will be joining us. We talked about Steele Sidebottom down in the AFL, getting found shirtless, drunk, and being suspended 4 games by the AFL. I want to let you know, no judgment from this chair. No judgment. Mm-mm. Hey, they say those who live in glass houses shouldn't live in glass houses. You know what they say?
Yeah, they do say that.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Like, don't even worry about throwing stones.
No.
Let's not even talk about throwing stones.
Leave them outside.
Let's just get the hell out of the glass house. Okay? Because that, not a lot of security.
No.
Not a lot of safety. And I think it's a constant thing. Like, whenever you use a magnifying glass with the sun and it just cooks things. I think that's what your house is. So I think if you live in a glass house, we should talk about your decision making. And then you should also not throw stones. So I think that's a couple things. And I am in that particular glass house at this particular thing. And I'm going to put up some blinds. I'm just not going to say a single thing bad about Steele Sidebottom. All I'm going to say is we're going to miss him for the next 4 games. And we need our vice captain back as fast as possible. But can't blame him for going out there and just getting absolutely demolished after losing to the GWS Giants, which nobody thought he was going to do, which I didn't think we were going to do, and I bet a hefty amount, and I don't even drink anymore, I almost was found shirtless and drunk because of how much I bet on the Collingwood Magpies to beat the hell out of the Nick Maralda GWS Giants goon squad.
I mean, the guy was quarantined for 4 or 5 months. He's having a good start to the season on the restart, and he wants to go out and celebrate a little bit.
They weren't having a good start, by the way. They lost to the goon squad.
Yeah, but that's their. They won a couple. They had won some other ones.
Which I can understand.
They won bad game. They won bad game. They're a good team.
They're a good team.
Yeah.
Good team.
Steele's getting slammed.
It's not their fault. A bunch of goons came in and took out.
Well, it is their fault. They didn't play well.
Yeah,
they
but they
step up.
And maybe
He's
we
got
don't
bullied all over the Browns.
Maybe we don't understand Aussie rules football enough.
That's probably true.
You know how? Bingo. By the way, Australia today. I hope that show doesn't last.
How you doing? Keep it moving.
How you doing? Keep it moving. How you doing? Keep it moving. No, they're probably good people, but the way they operate is just insufferable. But maybe, how in football, cliche coaches after a bad loss, they go and bury the ball.
Oh, yeah.
After a bad loss, they go out. They're like,
Tony
hey, boy,
Sperano.
come on out here. We're going to bury the ball, and we're never going to talk about this again. Maybe in the AFL, when you lose, you just go ahead and bury your memory of the night.
Smart.
Does anybody talk about Steele Sidebottom just trying to move on and be a better vice captain for that Collingwood Magpies? Yeah, maybe he overdid it. Yeah, maybe he drank 50, 60 beers. Maybe, I don't know. But that is what he was trying to do to become a better AFLer. And I think the AFL suspending him for 4 games is a bunch of garbage to me. He was in an Uber. He wasn't driving.
Smart.
Did he hurt anybody other than his liver? We don't know. Actually, we don't know the full story.
It might help the team, really.
Probably shouldn't judge.
Because everyone's going to say, look, guys, look what we're doing to Steele.
We're killing this guy.
We're killing Steele Sidebottom. We have to pick it up.
Steele Sidebottom is potentially a dead man if we continue to lose.
Yeah.
Look what he did to himself after we lost it at GWS Giants. You think we lose again? Imagine if we lose to that stupid Gold Coast Suns team whenever we have
the worst team in the league.
Imagine if we lose to the Fremantle Dockers. Do you know what Steele Sidebottom's going to do to himself? That's what they're saying. He's suspended for 4 weeks, so he's going to be fresh. You guys better look out.
That's good leadership.
He'll be back when it matters.
It is good leadership. Boys, I will take all the alcohol into town so you don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
Australia's going to run that clip. Right let's talk about some things happening in the sports world. We will be talking to Rickie Fowler later in this hour. We have Jason Terry joining us in 10 minutes. But Bryson DeChambeau's diet has been released. Okay, Bryson DeChambeau, everybody knew as the nerd of golf. Okay, whenever you go golf with your friends, there's a lot of like, how far is it? Let me get this out. Let me just swing, see how it goes. A lot of golfers, they get their yardages out. He had like this methodical, cerebral, like calculated numbers mentality going into golf. Hey, I need to hit this at like 9 p.m. at 60%. And it's like, to be honest, I always thought golf was something that you shouldn't think. But his entire approach was like the most thinking of all time. Diligent in notes. He was kind of known as the nerd on the golf course. Like, hey, this guy is like the nerd. Like if we were going to have an astronaut play golf, this is the guy. This is the guy that overcalculates everything. But he was doing good, and he was kind of catching on. And I think during the quarantine, he said, listen, I'm tired of being bullied and being called a nerd. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to become the biggest mother out here. This is what this dude did to go from where he was to where he is now. And if you look at him drive, I think he drove one 378 yards or something like that this weekend. He is an animal, was it?
There was one that was 420. It rolled down the path quite a bit, but that was...
Shout out marijuana. The thought of this was his daily diet to get to where he is. 4 eggs, 5 bacon strips, toast, and 2 to 3 Orgain protein shakes. Now, you're drinking 2 to 3 protein shakes in the morning. Just wait. We'll get back to that in a second. In-round snacks, we got some Go Marco bars. Nobody knows. Go Macro bars. Nobody knows what that is. PB&J sandwich. Solid. Lock that in. And then 3 more protein shakes. Every 6 holes you're having a protein shake. So that's 5 to 6 protein shakes already, and we're not even done with the round. Post-round snacks, another protein shake. Okay, so that's 7 protein shakes in one day. And then dinner, you have steak, potatoes, and then 2 more. 9 protein shakes, a steak, 4 eggs, bacon, peanut butter and jelly sandwich, some snacks, and more potatoes. No wonder this dude put on 60 pounds. I have no idea how you... This seems like this is like the sumo wrestler's diet whenever they're trying to bulk up. That Orgain protein shake must be delicious, by the way. Because those things, if they taste bad, they are hard to choke down. Mike Barwas, we had these protein shakes this one summer, and they had changed their formula. And he wanted us to drink one after every single time. And the entire crew was like, hey, dog, we got to go back to last year's protein shakes. There's no way we can take these down. In this steel or aluminum.
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
Aluminum. What is it?
Aluminium.
Aluminium. You obviously crack it open. You got this tiny little thing. And then if you don't shake it, it's got like clumps coming out. You got to shake that whole thing up. I mean, protein shakes can be delicious. And I would assume that one is that. But he's having 9 protein shakes a day. That guy might be 600 pounds by the end of this golf season.
How do you play golf after that?
How do you poop? There's another question.
That's like, you'd just be so full. I don't know how you could even function.
Well, Bryson DeChambeau is a mental warrior. The guy who's able to get through every single calculation and still golf well. And he's hitting a ball 400 yards now. He is no longer the nerd. He is now the beefy, smart guy out there. Mm-hmm. And I hope he continues to win. I predict, and this is nothing against Bryson DeChambeau. This is just somebody who was in a similar profession as golf. I would assume at some point he could potentially get paralysis by overanalysis. And when he does that, I'm excited to see what change he makes because I think a guy that can drive it over 400 yards is good for golf, and I'm a big fan.
It's worked. I mean, he's been in the top 10 for every single tournament since the break has ended. So,
and by the way, that could be a mental thing too. Whenever you put on that muscle, when you used to be the nerd, you put on that muscle, all of a sudden you're a little peacocking a little bit more.
I might hit this ball.
You're walking up to that ball, you're like, oh, you guys remember those calculations you made fun of for just waiting this? Let's dial them up a little bit because boy's drinking 9 protein shakes a day. He's probably hitting his 9-iron like 175, 180 at this point. I mean, what an animal there. Course gets real small when you're driving at 400 yards. I mean, just like the field gets real small when you have Antonia Brown returning punts for you, right? Which the Tampa Bay Buccaneers probably going to be thinking about as well. I mean, that is potentially going to happen. But whenever you have a smaller course, smaller field, you're going to score more. And it feels like Bryce and DeChambeau took that into account and just started mathematically putting on the pounds. I don't know how he poops, though. I mean, that's a lot of protein. I don't know how that poop's coming out.
He's number 2 in driving distance now.
Who's one? Dustin?
Cameron Champ.
Oh, big champ.
Never heard of him.
Can't putt.
Where's he from?
You know where he's from. He's from Champville.
Yo, I live on Champ Street. Farther down you are, the bigger champ you are. I lived at the end of the road.
Cul-de-sac.
Yeah, you're damn right.
Right there.
Yeah, you live well, huh?
Oh, no, not me. Big Champ does, though.
Oh, yeah. Lives cul-de-sac. Lives a good life.
Yeah, it's a good time. It's a nice little neighborhood.
They are at the Rocket Mortgage Classic, brought to you by Rocket Mortgage, obviously, in Detroit. And when we talked to Rickie Fowler, the charity that they're doing here this weekend, I guess there's 30 million. What's the number?
30%?
30%. 30% of Detroit doesn't have internet. Think about that. It's 2020. 30% of Detroit does not have the internet or good internet or something like that. So this Rocket Mortgage Classic has committed to, and Rocket Mortgage is committed to giving back to Detroit and hopefully giving them a lot more tech and bringing them into the modern world. So you got Flint, Michigan with no water.
Yep.
You got Detroit with no internet.
Yep.
What the hell's going on up here, Foxy?
Great question. And we can't win a sports game. So I don't know.
Well, I know why you can't win a sports game.
Can't study.
Can't watch
Good
film.
point. Shout
Can't
out.
Google what the hell's going on. And you can't drink water. Hydration's a pretty big deal. I think Michigan needs as much. Can we help with the internet or the water at all? I feel like the water thing seems like that's going to be vast, right? I mean,
It's been going on for a while.
How has that not been fixed, by the way?
Great question.
I thought Will Smith fixed it.
Well, they gave that box water, him and his kid. And listen, don't bring up Will Smith just because you want us to talk about.
that dog.
Why would I do
nostalgia.
that?
Yeah, that's what you just did.
We're talking about a good cause that he did here, a good deed for the people.
Well, it was his kid. It was his box water with his kid. But you are bringing up Will Smith strictly because of what hit the internet last night with Will Smith. That is why you're doing that.
What, he's a cuck?
Oh, come on.
Come on.
What?
It's despicable.
Hey, Mitt, put that in the minutes.
Mitt, are you all right? Mitt, are you okay, bub? I mean, geez Louise.
I can't believe you said that.
Oh, yeah, the things that you have said, you can't believe he said that.
Yeah.
Okay, Mitt.
There's a specific Tuesday that happened that I think a lot of people were surprised you said as well.
Bag of milk.
But the, you think he's soft?
Yeah, as a bag of milk.
Soft as a bag of milk.
He's a Fig Newton.
Yeah.
An absolute peanut.
Go on.
He's a slug. He's a bum. He's a drunk.
Rebuttal?
He's a fool.
That was the weakest one.
Yeah.
That was the weakest one.
You know.
Will Smith allegedly, I guess this has been known, Will Smith, Jada, Will and Jada, and So August were all trending last night at one time on Twitter because the story came out by August Alsina. Is that his name? August Alsina. He's a rapper. He was doing an interview where he talked about how Will Smith gave him a blessing to date Jada, who is Will Smith's wife and life partner. And August basically went on to say, like, he fell deeply in love with Jada and that it was nothing but cool with Will Smith. And Will Smith gave him the goods, and then Jada and him broke up. And he said that he can sleep well or die knowing that he was loved and loved somebody because those are the most important feelings. And obviously, as soon as this happens, noted Will Smith hater Nick Moroto started popping off in the group text message about how Will's a cuck, Will's a loser, Will this, Will that, Will can't even be married good. Is that what you said?
I think I said one of those things.
No.
The rest were implied by you. But understood, obviously.
No, we got to get to
We're
a
on the same
break.
page.
We have to get to a break because Jason Terry's on the other side. I don't know why you're married, though. You know, I know there's a lot of people that do their thing, but I guess it's a business relationship. Is this like
open relationship is what
There was
is this
love
like
at
the
one time.
Underwoods in House of Cards?
Probably. He likes sitting in the corner and jerking his gherkin while he's watching her, you know?
12 minutes after the hour, we got to get to a break. You cannot say that. This is the Pat McAfee Show. I was told by Del Curry, Scottie Pippen struggles on a golf course. right?
Right.
I was told at that thing that I'm going against Scottie Pippen the next day. Match play, heads up, one-on-one Scottie Pippen. So we decide, like, okay, we could probably have a couple drinks, stay at the casino a little bit longer than we should.
Representing the NFL out of the Shoeless Golf Club of America, Pat McAfee. His opponent, representing the NBA, Scottie Pippen.
You know what I mean? This guy's got 6 rings. Yeah. He's a fucking Hall of Famer. But today he's going to play against me. And then I start seeing Scottie hit some shots that are just like starting to come together. And I'm like, wait a fucking minute. I think I was lied to.
We were lied to yesterday. We were told Scottie Pippen was a terrible golfer. Bro, he's Scottie fucking Pippen.
Going in the back 9, I think I was down 1. Like, we were battling. But I started making putts. And Scottie Pippen went ahead and got real hot. I mean, real fucking hot. I was down 3 with 7 left. And I looked right in the camera, and I go,
so we're down 3 with like 7 holes left. Scottie Pippen's about to get this work.
Scottie Pippen from 190 yards out just fucking dunks it. Fucking boom, bang, and then walks up to the green, gets the ball, cameras on him, and he goes, Pippen ain't easy. Kidding me?
All right, down 4 with 6 left after Scottie Pippen just chips in from fucking 400 yards out.
I was fucking demoralized.
Pippen ain't easy.
By the way, best he's ever performed at golf, because I'm around, better teammate than Jordan.
Yep.
People forget. Oh, yeah, I told Dell, I was like, Dell, what the fuck you lying to me? He was like, well, I saw it yesterday. He was not great. And Greg Anthony told me, and I was like, Dell, he buried me, Del Curry. He buried me. He was like, hey, Pippen ain't easy.
Yes, baby, it's time to celebrate.
Talking about a shotgun of beer after he had beat me, obviously. I like teach him how to do it.
Yeah, put a hole in there. It might spread a little bit, so. Yeah, so you're going to go here, and then you're going to open and flip up. Does that make sense? Congrats on winning the NBA a couple of times, blah, 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 blah. And being an incredible golfer. Thanks, Paul. Cheers, man. Hey.
Damn.
Okay,
That's the
Scotty.
best Bud Light I ever had.
Hey, there's no stuck in here.
You right.
Let's get it. Let's go. Dream house is a tour bus. Scream loud that you knew us. Deep down on the new plug. You ain't about to get too dust. Peeps frown when they crew scrubs. Sweet sound from the 2 subs. Beats loud as a move, bruh. Lead the crowd like, ooh, what? Long hair on the big body. 210, both sitting shoddy. Crack a fist, start getting rowdy. Blowing nose, looking like an Audi. It's Uncle Sam without the taxes. Crowd stands up, I keep them loud. I made this beat, you hear it smacking? Who is 30? Hand me a nap. You probably wasn't expecting this. What? Expected?
This can't happen again.
Come on. Get out of the bathroom, Jason.
This is the first show we promoted our guests to.
Oh, yeah.
No, last week we did, and one dropped out too. It was like Undertaker.
Yeah.
Who dropped out?
Mark Davis.
No, and also Jimbo.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe we shouldn't promote who our guests are because we're just not sure if they're going to show up or not.
Rickie.
We'll go to Rickie Fowler at 11:30. We have a hard out with Jason Terry at 11:30 if he comes on. We're not 100% sure. Zito, you've called him a couple times?
Yes, I call him 3.
Is this how every show is, you think? Is every show treated this way?
I don't know.
It's weird.
I'm going to say this, and I don't mean this to be arrogant. We get 6 million uniques a month. Name another sports show that does that. None. And I feel like we potentially get treated. Why? Because we're the newest?
I think so.
Because we're the youngest?
Hey, they made the list.
Hey, well, I'm young, scrappy, and hungry, and I want to let you know I will ban people for life from this show. And I do not have a problem with it.
No.
AQ Shipley, banned for life from this show.
Yep.
There it is.
Got to do it.
Banned for life. Wait until you see him try to call in.
Nope.
Put him right in the dumpster.
Stern but fair.
See you later. This is interesting, though. I mean, this is 2 guys in one day here.
Not buttoned up enough or
No
what?
respect.
Is it us? This is an us thing. At some point, you have to look in the mirror and be like, is it us?
No.
What do
I'm
we
gonna
do?
call myself.
What
and
are
see
we
if it
doing
works.
wrong?
No, Zito, go ahead and read the thing. I mean, come on. Is this our fault?
I'm gonna call myself.
Is this our fault? I am an accountability guy, okay? If I need to look in the mirror and say this was our fault, is this our fault? No. Is this my fault?
No, I think Wednesday's a tough day.
He's
for
back.
People.
I think so.
Yeah,
here we go.
All right, we got 11 minutes. We got to get this thing in and quick. Look at this.
Oh, we should have a couple more.
Look at this show. I don't know if that's how it works. I don't know if there's a carryover. I have no idea if that's the case. Let's just get right to it.
Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now is a man who played in the NBA for 19 years. He's a world champion, a 6th man of the year, and currently an assistant coach for the University of Arizona, where he once won a national championship. You can follow him online at Jason Terry 31. Ladies and gentlemen, the Jet, Jason Terry. What's going on, man?
Man, that much. How y'all doing?
Good. How's that coach life at this point? Is this what you knew you were always going to do? Back in Arizona, coaching a little bit, a whole different world, I'd assume.
It's definitely a whole different world, but my last 4 or 5 years in the league in preparation for, my post-playing career, I prepared myself, I studied up, and man, this recruiting has been something else. I mean, this calls at 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. You got kids from overseas, so you got to adjust your time zone. But hey, it's something I love to do. I'm passionate about it, and using that platform to impact lives and make a difference in these young men's lives at this point of their career is something that I'm very passionate about.
Being a college coach is a massive deal. You're taking these boys and turning them into men. And it's not just on the court, it's off the court. There's a lot of pressure in that. I'm happy that somebody who is as accomplished and as successful as you signed up to do that because, to be honest, a lot of players, a lot of OGs, especially people that play 19 years in whatever profession, do not want to jump back into the coaching world because of the time commitment that you just mentioned. So thankful that you're doing that. Good for you. Good for the University of Arizona. Let's talk NBA basketball, which you were a legend at, okay? I mean, absolute legend. I still remember the headband bouncing around, but you were number 7 overall in three-pointers made in the NBA. But you were doing that in a time where the three-point shot was not the focal point. Do you ever think when you're watching the Golden State Warriors or Kevin Durant and go, damn, if I was about 10 years younger, I might have been able to play for 55 years and score 7,000 points?
Nah, no doubt about it. You know what? It's just the evolution of our game, and it's fun to watch. But for me, I just use the three-point line as a weapon, right? My game was more of mid-range pull-up, get to the right side of the floor off of a two-man game action. The three was just something that evolved, and over a accumulation of time, I was able to put up a large amount of numbers and makes. But, hey, it's part of the game. We love it. And, again, like you said, if I played in this era, of course, I'd be hoisting 10 to 15 threes a game. I played for the Houston Rockets for 2 years, and it was hard for me to make that adjustment. I always thought the best shot was the easiest shot, and for me, it was the pull-up jumper, but they hated it, and, it was hard to adjust to.
Aside from you, obviously, let's take you out of the conversation. Who's the best three-point shooter you've ever seen?
I mean, Steph Curry is phenomenal because of the variety of ways and the range at which and efficiency at which he does it at. But, man, Klay Thompson, man, he is just pure. He is a pure as it comes when you're talking about fundamentally sound, quick release, and just a hair trigger, man. He gets them off quicker than any other guy that I've ever seen. I mean, Ray Allen was a monster. Reggie Miller, obviously, is my OG. But Klay Thompson, to me, man, is just the purest shooter that I've ever seen.
Is it just because, like with Steph, it feels like, and I don't know basketball and shooting as well as I probably should, but with Steph, it feels like it's just like a feel thing. And he kind of comes and goes into the feel. With Klay, it is technique. And anytime you're in a massive moment, technique ultimately wins. That's why practice is so important, because when those moments get tight and you might get a little bit nervous, you fall back on your technique. Is that why you think Klay Thompson is more likely to be successful for the long haul, because his technique is just flawless?
100%. I mean, his technique, bar none, if you watch him, the high release, the follow through, the form, and the quickness that he gets his shot off with is just pure beauty. Steph is unorthodox. I mean, he's slinging that thing from the hip. He might hook shot it in. He's shooting it from 50 feet. I mean, it's just I don't know how he does it, but he does, and he gets it off, and they go in. But I just, like you said, the technique of a Klay Thompson, to me, as a shooter, is just fundamentally sound as they come.
Well, let's talk about the current NBA a little bit more. That Golden State team stunk this year. Good for them. They don't have to go down to the COVID-19 biodome in Orlando. With what you're hearing, I mean, 19 years in the league, you obviously got friends that are still in the league, coaches, players, everybody. You're still connected in there, especially with being at the University of Arizona. Whenever we started learning about what the day-to-day could be like down there, the more and more questions started to arise about whether or not players were going to be able to handle this mentally as opposed to physically. Whenever it comes to being locked away from your family for 35 to 40 days at least and away from any other recreational activity, how do you think this is all going to play out? Like, how do you think the dome down in Orlando is going to play out from a player-human perspective?
We always said champions adapt and adjust to adversity. And there is no other adversity than being in like you said, a biodome, a atmosphere that you're out of your norm. You're out of your normal routine. You're not with your family, so you're out of your comfort zone. And so the ones that are able to mentally lock in and focus, obviously physically, everybody has been at a disadvantage, really not being able to be in their workout routine and their regimen. But obviously this quick training camp, then you'll play 8 games. Now you're right into playoff mentality. So the guys that have had that experience, Kawhi Leonard, LeBron James, those champions, the guys that have had that championship pedigree are the ones that should be able to adapt and adjust the easiest. And therefore you will see those players, excel in this type of environment. But I would not overlook Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Milwaukee Bucks. Those guys are young, they're hungry, and that kid's just a different animal.
I got to see him play against the Atlanta Hawks before the quarantine. Vince Carter came out, hit a couple fadeaways. It was unbelievable to watch that. But watching Giannis run up and down the court, it's like that human right there is built different than every other human that's on earth right now.
No doubt. And I was there with Giannis for 2 years in Milwaukee. And I never seen a guy in his 3rd or 4th season. I was in the locker room one day. I passed by his locker and I looked at his screensaver. And, man, his screensaver was the Larry O'Brien trophy. So he already in his 3rd year was already focusing in on winning a championship. Not his contract, not being a Hall of Famer, not trying to make it to the All-Star game. He was locked in on the Larry O'Brien trophy and what it was going to take for him to win the championship. I mean, that's unbelievable.
I mean, they showed the gym he grew up in Greece that he played from, and then he gets over here, and then he makes it to the league, and they're like, oh, he's nowhere near where he's going to be. And then his first year, second year, and then third. And then now he's getting to the point where this guy, he takes no prisoners and is scared of absolutely nobody. Is there anybody I got to play in a celebrity basketball game here, and a Bone Collector fouled me a little bit, and he and I got squared up there for a little bit, and he started shaking, and I thought he was going to have, and I just backed up, right? Like, the easiest defense here is I'm just going to back off this thing. Is there anybody you played against in your years where you did not look forward to the evening? Like, this could be a long night for me.
I tell you what, man, Stephon Marbury for me was probably the toughest cover other than Allen Iverson. But Steph, he was physical, he was strong, he was quick, he was explosive, and he would just come at you every single possession. And he always had the ball in his hands, man. I mean, he retired at an early age and then went on to China, had a Hall of Fame career. But, I mean, just watching him and having to – man, you went to sleep early the night before you faced that guy. I mean, he was that physical of a force at the point guard position.
Well, it was amazing he was doing that in those Starbears, too. Those shoes were not comfortable.
That was the other thing, man. You got to be careful going up against a guy in shoes like that. I mean, I wore Reeboks for 15 years. That's why my feet still hurt. Starberries was something else.
Good. Yeah, Jay, you talked about going against him, but like you played with Dirk. You talked about playing with Giannis and James Harden. Who was like the best scorer that you played with?
Oh, I mean, James Harden, bar none, will go down as top 3 best scorers of all time. I mean, watching that guy in ability to get off a shot with the defense just crowding his space, to me was just unbelievable to watch. I mean, I watched his preparation. I watched the work he put in. You know how much energy it takes to exert when you are dribbling 20, 30 seconds. I mean, you got to be tired. But he still gets his shot off. He makes them. He's crafty. He gets to the basket, his ability to create fouls and draw contact. And then he shoots the three with high efficiency as well with range. I mean, that kid, man, I got to say this, and a lot of people are not fans of James' game, but I am because I watched him and I know the work that he puts in. He will win a championship before he retires. They just have to put the right pieces around him. I'm not a fan of the small ball. Yeah, if I played in that area, I would have loved it because I get to shoot all those threes. But at some point, you got to have somebody to be able to protect that paint, man, and keep guys out the middle. So if they can put the right people around James, he'll win a championship because his ability to score is crazy. But also an underrated part of his game is his ability to facilitate and pass the ball. He makes pinpoint passes just like LeBron, Chris Paul, all those guys.
We're talking to Jason Terry at Jason Terry 31. He's currently the assistant coach at the University of Arizona. I'm going to ask you a very real question here, Jet. All right? Am I allowed to call you Jet?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Is that what your friends say? They're like, hey, Jet? Is that what your friends say?
Yeah, the NBA brethren call me the Jet. Arizona guys call me JT. But I like Coach Jet. That's a good one. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about Coach Jet. The college basketball world, I think, and I haven't dug in deep, but I believe there's going to be maybe 100 to 200 college basketball coaches that are going to get banned for life from the NCAA. From what I mean, if you look into this thing, I mean, who knows what's going on with deals being made, and there's all this stuff happening, and the NCAA is going to have to adjust to the modern world. But you're probably going to be a head coach very, very soon. Is that something that is obviously a goal? Any assistant coach wants to become a head coach, but you're going to be a head coach very, very soon, it feels like.
No doubt. I definitely aspire to be a head coach, at the Division I level. But for me right now, it's all about learning, right? There's so many nuances that you have to learn about the college game, right? Compliance, recruiting, just all those little nuances. The X's and O's, I got that. I mean, that takes care of itself. I've learned from some of the best basketball minds there is. Avery Johnson, Don Nelson, Rick Carlisle, Jason Kidd, all those guys served as mentors for me in that facet. But for me, it's about the little rules. Like the NCAA has so many different rules. I graduated in 99. Like this rule book changes every year. And it's funny, I've been on the job for about a month now. I call compliance once a day trying to figure out, can I text this guy? It's just so many. Can I use the bathroom? Like, it's just crazy. It's just too many little rules that you can get caught up on. But it's a part of the game. It's something that you have to adapt and adjust to.
Well, that's what champions do, Jet, and that's what you are, the champion over there. I can't thank you enough for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, follow him at Jason Terry 31. Thanks for making time for us today. Good luck out there. Ladies and gentlemen, the Jet, JT, Coach Jet, Jason Terry. Jet Terry. Thank you, Coach.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, have a good one. Okay. We got to get to a break. On the other side, we got Rickie Fowler. Okay, you're going to enjoy this Rickie Fowler conversation. By the way, he would have put up 70 points if he was playing.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, he could shoot. That was back whenever they were fouling the living hell out of people that were shooting, too. Good for him. He ended up on the wrong side of LeBron one time, but I think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Hey, every once in a while, you're going to get got. You just got to get yours more than you get got, though. Number 7 overall in three-point shooting. I mean, that guy got his. And he's world champ. 31 minutes after the hour, we got to get to a break. Rickie Fowler joins us on the other side. This is the Pat McAfee Show, Wednesday, July 1st.
There's a grown man with face paint on. So you're Big Nut.
I am, and you're Little Nut.
Well, I've had a few of those in my life. I'll tell you what, Big Nut. I hope to find you one day on my wedding night. Big Nut!
Little Nut!
You did a great job, too. The lines are straight. No DUI problem there. You're really doing a great job here, sir. Hey, Big Nut, I love everything you're about, bud.
Because we are going to win the game.
He just spit in my mouth while saying that.
The most likely team to make the college football playoff is the team that is in Columbus.
He said khakis are way too close to that team from up north. If you don't put black pants on right now, you're going to get booed out of Columbus.
Yeah.
So I went with the black. Makes me look thin. And whenever I say 2 letters, the place goes crazy. OH! Yeah! Ladies and gentlemen, Eddie George. That offense, though, led by Justin Fields. He has 41 touchdowns accounted for, only 1 turnover. I don't know how he isn't the Heisman favorite right now.
Well, he certainly has a chance to make a stick at that today, certainly next week.
He's supposed to be at Penn State, and Mike McQuarrie told me I wasn't Penn State material. Okay, Herbie was your quarterback. He was a senior. You were a freshman. What was he like as a teammate?
Oh, he was great, man. Big shoulder pads. Kurt could run for days back in the day.
We have a guy that can break every single bone in my body. Steve, how you doing, boss man? They're down 6-1. She wants to flex on the gram. He says, lady, we are getting slaughtered by the Pittsburgh Penguins. No.
Do I do it too? I thought I need to do this.
Ray J in the house, y'all.
Oh.
What's up, y'all? Best earbuds in the biz. Everyone needs a great pair of wireless earbuds, and you already know Raycon earbuds start at about half the price. And when I say half the price, that's better than any premium wireless earbuds on the market.
Woo!
I ad-libbed that, by the way.
Hi, Baby Z.
Hi, Baby Z.
Anytime. and that they sound just as amazing as other top audio brands you know.
Attaboy, Foxy.
Oh, come on.
He's trying to steal the ad reader now.
He did. Their newest model, the Everyday E25 earbuds, are the best ones yet, with 6 hours of playtime, seamless Bluetooth pairing, more bass, and more compact design that gives you a nice noise-isolating fit. Oh, sorry. I'm gonna call the action real quick.
There you go.
Get 50% off your order at buyraycon.com/Pat. That's buyraycon.com/Pat for 50% off Raycon wireless earbuds.
Shout out to Raycon. Buyraycon.com/Pat. 38 minutes after the hour, we talked to Rickie Fowler this morning in our first ever pre-recorded conversation. I think you're going to enjoy this. Rocket Mortgage Classic is this weekend in Detroit. Raising money for Detroit. Our guy, Rickie Fowler, stopped by. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now is a man who's famous for his golf game. His outfits are electric, a nice flat bill, and a mustache. And this weekend, you can watch him at the Rocket Mortgage Classic in Detroit, raising money for all of Detroit and internet. Ladies and gentlemen, Rickie Fowler. How's it going, Rickie?
All good. Just hanging here at the course. Gonna go get some work in shortly.
Well, yeah, so you got a practice round day? Is that what's going on here?
Yeah, I played 18 yesterday, and today I'll probably hit some balls and go play 9. Keep it fairly mellow because I gotta play tomorrow morning pretty early.
Okay, so let's talk about these practice rounds. I've never really seen them. Are you out there in shorts? Is there music playing? Is it what is the practice? Or is this like a very serious, like we got to learn the course here, we're going to do this if we do this? Like, what is the practice round like on Wednesdays?
Pretty mellow. Typically a Wednesday would be our pro-am day, but obviously with everything going on, just players out here. So pretty relaxed. Every once in a while I'll have my phone playing some music in my back pocket. Some guys may be a little bit more serious, especially if it's a golf course they haven't been to yet. But myself being here last year, I know the golf course pretty well, just kind of reacquainting myself. Other than that, I try and keep it pretty relaxed early in the week, rest up, and get ready to tee up on Thursday being tomorrow.
What are you listening to in the back pocket? I'm excited. You know what I play? I'll go everything from hip-hop, barbecue radio on Pandora, which is a nice mix of nostalgia. Every once in a while, the big timers will come on. Then you got old school, Juvenile. And then I'll go Zach Brown band as well if I want to get it, depending on what mood I'm in. What is in your back pocket while you're playing in these rounds?
My standard go-to, a couple DJs that I know, Kygo and Griffin.
Oh, you get after it out there. You're like, ooh.
They're not too crazy. They're fairly mellow compared to what you might see at night in the club. But Kygo's got a great new album out that I've enjoyed listening to. But being in Detroit, another buddy of mine, sometimes I'll throw on there, whether it's Pandora or somewhere else, but Kid Rock.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Is the old adage is that you were this adrenaline junkie who was a dirt biker and you got into all this other stuff and then you self-taught, you get it, how to golf, and then now you're in the PGA. Like, how does that happen? Like, how do you go from being dirt biker, which seems to be the polar opposite, adrenaline junkie, polar opposite of what golf is? How did you fall in love with the game and get to this point?
So I started playing and riding basically at the same time. Golf was always my number one, but man, I wish I could still get on a dirt bike and go have some fun. I basically rode up until I was about 15. I broke my foot and didn't tear anything in my knee, but basically blew it up. So that was a kind of a wake-up call. If I want to go after and pursue golf, that the dirt bikes may have to take a seat for a bit. So it was a big part of who I am as far as, like you said, you can't think a whole lot on a bike. And when I'm playing my best golf, there's not much thinking involved. It's kind of go with what you're feeling, see it, and hit it. So those are the good days. Unfortunately, that doesn't happen all the time.
Cool. I don't know how you guys do it. I got this club. It's called the Unduffable. I bought it off the Golf Channel about 3 a.m. whenever they said it was available. It turns out the son of a bitch does duff all the time. But golfing is a lot like kicking and punting, right? So kicking and punting, obviously you're doing it hopefully under 72 times a day. For us, it's only like 5-6 times. But once you start overthinking things, you get so messed up. It happens to the best of us. It happens to everybody. What do you do whenever you get in those situations where you're like overthinking, a little paralysis by overanalysis type situation?
For me, I think it's always going back to if you have kind of one swing thought, one or two. For me, I can get away with two as far as, we got Jason Day pulling up over here.
Hey, pal, good luck out there. I hope you come in second this weekend.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was for you, Ricky.
I think a big thing is keeping swing thoughts down to a minimum, and then kind of having a fallback. If something is going wrong, what's that one cue that can kind of get you through the day to minimize what could happen?
I stink at golf, but I'll have a good round every once in a while. I will have a good, for instance, I just shot a 38 on 9 holes on Saturday in Michigan, and I felt like I was on top of the world. And I could go shoot 100 tomorrow. At what point in your life were you shooting where you're like, you know what, I'm probably going to be a professional golfer? Did you have that aha moment where you're like, I seem to be better than everybody else?
It was always a dream of mine, but having a dream as a little kid, that doesn't always work out. But I mean, put the work in, put the time in, and keep kind of shooting for that, there's a better chance of it. But for me, I think when I really knew, actually the first PGA Tour event I got to play in as an amateur was in 2008 at Hilton Head. And I didn't play that well. I think I missed the cut by 2 shots. And I was like, I can play out here. I know I can do this. So that was kind of the validation of when I really knew. There were times before that where I knew I could play good golf, but at that point I got to go and actually play with the guys that I'd be competing with in the future.
The younger generation of golfers has been very important to the game of golf, right? I mean, Tiger and Phil, that magical run, it was just next level. And then everybody was like, well, what's going to happen to golf when Tiger's done? And now, granted, they're still playing and still bringing ratings, but that next generation of golf was a big deal. You, Spieth, your little golf rap group you guys had there for a little bit, that whole crew, it seems like you guys are really tight too. Is that a fair assessment whenever I'm talking about the younger group of golfers? It feels like you guys are a lot closer than most competitors would be.
Yeah, you could definitely say that, because it wasn't like, through the prime of Tiger and Phil's careers that they were hanging out. And nothing against that. I'm someone that enjoys being around from growing up, playing with my buddies, through high school, through college. I always felt like what made me better is playing against guys that were as good or better and just pushing each other, and continuing to in a way help each other out. And it's more fun when you get to beat your buddies, in my opinion. And then you get some bragging rights on them, but it is different. Like I said, you didn't see Phil and Tiger necessarily hanging out, but I got to give credit to Phil for him to have the career he had and is still having throughout Tiger's prime. The amount of wins, the amount of top finishes, it's pretty impressive to do it in the same time as probably the greatest player we've seen in the game.
Now, you and Phil, by the way, we'll jot that down. Rickie Fowler says Tiger Woods' greatest golfer of all time. Okay, so you and Phil Mickelson, it is alleged you guys played a lot of rounds together back in the day. I don't know if that's still happening or not, but what do you learn from a guy like Phil Mickelson, and how awesome was the gambling when you guys were playing against each other?
We would play. A lot of times Phil and I would be on the same team.
Nice, smart.
There were a lot of times we played Tuesday matches, like 2-on-2 best ball. I thought it was a great way to get ready for a tournament, see where you're at. So that was one thing that has definitely helped me, but also his time management, and just he's obviously been out here, a handful of years before me, and just learning from him on how he dealt with day-to-day weekly situations, sponsor obligations, and just how to learn to manage that properly. Everyone's different, so I don't do things exactly how Phil does, but I learned a lot from him on the management side.
You guys are like NASCAR racers. I mean, the big guys have like one or two. You Puma, everybody knows you're with Puma. Also, your relationship with Rocket Mortgage has been a smashing success. But that whole managing the sponsorships and their expectations, I would assume that is a bit tasking. Just in a little bit that we have to do with businesses and their expectations, I would assume that is a real thing that has to be monitored for you guys in your week to week.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I typically play about 25 events a year. That'll be a little different this year with our little layoff. But outside of that, I probably have, depending on the year, but 25 work days as far as whether they're shoots, still or commercial, playing a handful of pro-ams outside of that for other players that have their pro-am for their foundations. So it's cool to be able to have those opportunities, to have the partnerships. There's some time that is involved with it, but to have it, to be a part of Rocket Mortgage and to see what they're doing in Detroit, it's something that's fun to hop behind.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. How's it been golfing in front of nobody? Like, is it
quiet.
Yeah.
The fans bring the energy, and it is very different. I definitely enjoy it more with fans because the energy's there. Getting contention on the weekend, it's a different feeling. But we don't have that yet because it's definitely quiet out here.
Well, there's a pandemic, Rickie. People are. There's this virus going on.
I've heard of it.
It has been rather large. Go ahead.
Rickie, it was reported or it came out that you were the only person on tour who was going to wear a mic or was willing to wear a mic. Did other players on tour give you any crap for that?
No, I didn't get any backlash for it. I think there's definitely more guys that are up for it. I don't know if they asked the whole field. I think they went through a handful of guys. I was up to do it, especially since we just about a month before that played the TaylorMade Drive and Relief match with Rory, DJ, and Wolf, and we were all mic'd up there. So just figured, why not? Unfortunately, didn't play very well. It would have been a little better if I played nice.
Is that the reason why you played bad? Because you were mic'd up? Ooh.
No, I can't blame it on that.
I will.
I wish I could, but that's on me.
All right. We can't thank you enough for your time. Are you going to win this weekend? Yeah? Let's win one.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah. Let's make Detroit better with Rocket Mortgage. Let's go win the Rocket Mortgage Classic, and let's continue to have the most electric mustache in the golf game. Ladies and gentlemen, big golf show with our friend Rickie Fowler.
Yeah,
Ricky! Tiger Woods, best golfer of all time. He said it, not me.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe after that conversation was ended, the recorded conversation, we did get him on the hook for Monday's show. If he wins.
Mm-hmm.
If he wins, he comes on show Monday.
I think he's on the hook to play with you as well.
Yeah, we had a conversation about me potentially playing golf alongside Rickie Fowler and all his friends, Tiger and Phil and
you name it.
BK, and JT.
Rickie Fowler plus 3,000 right now at FanDuel to win this week.
Let's go ahead and hammer that. Let's go ahead and hammer that. He's probably going to win, and he'll be on the show on Monday. Can't wait to talk to him. Thanks for taking time, Rickie. I know you're very, very busy. We are a live show. Every day we do at least 2 hours, some days 3.5, 4, with McAfee and Hawk Sports Talk. But we are sometimes people's only, reference of news happening in the world. So to cover things we're supposed to cover as we wrap up hour 2 here, our friend Nick with news of things that are happening in the world.
News of things that are happening in the world.
Nailed it.
Police in Italy have confiscated a huge shipment, 14 metric tons, that's 15.4 U.S. tons of amphetamines, which they say was produced by ISIS in Syria. It's believed to be the biggest and largest drug bust in the world in terms of value and quality.
Oh, the Italians, huh?
We stopped them. Stopped them.
Oh, the Italian cops.
Not our country, ISIS.
Yeah, okay. I wonder who they were trying to sell that to.
Worth $1.12 billion.
The mafia is not going to be happy, by the way. So the mafia is going to have to get back somehow. Look for them to make a move in the next couple weeks after losing $1.12 billion American dollars.
Let's rob a painting or two from Michelangelo. It's not a big deal.
No big deal. Maybe call Danny Ocean or that French guy, the Fox, or whatever his name is. What else is going on?
Happy Canada Day to all those up north of the border, obviously.
Some Canadians don't even know what it's for, but Canadians we know.
Sorry.
Today should have been the start of NHL free agency, obviously with still questions as to how they get back to play. TSN's Bob McKenzie, who is the godfather of hockey media, reporting that there is a tentative agreement on most issues in phase 3 or 4 of the return to play with a CBA extension tentatively agreed to. Still a couple things to finalize. Hopefully the players will vote on it Friday or have it done this weekend, possibly
There's
Saturday.
allegedly a lot of chirping amongst the boys in the NHL locker rooms about not exactly being thrilled about returning to play, but also it is believed that $300 million worth of signing bonuses are going to be delivered to the players early, right? Today.
Paid out today.
Yeah, so that is going to help. I assume the NHL players say, let's go ahead and do this. So the NHL is trying their best to get back, and I like that. The 2 hub cities, no longer Las Vegas because of the yodely of COVID-19. No longer Columbus because they don't have enough hotel rooms. No longer Pittsburgh because there isn't enough practice space. It is alleged that both hub cities could potentially be in the home of hockey, Canada, in Edmonton and Toronto. Crazy, crazy developments from the hockey world. Thanks for that heads up, Nick, on all the news that's happening around the world. Also, Jada Pinkett Smith, Will Smith's lifetime partner, wife, she has said that August Alsina is a liar.
What?
Earlier in the show, we talked about Will Smith, Will and Jada. So August and Will and Jada must last night trending on Twitter when August Alsina, young rapper, said that he got permission from Will Smith to date Jada Pinkett Smith. He fell in love with her. She was in love with him. He said he could die because he knew what it felt like to love and to be loved. That was with another man's wife, Jada. Jada has come out and said August Alsina's lying. We'll find out with another Red Table episode, I assume, when Will, Jada, and August sit down and have a nice little chat about what's going on in the corners of bedrooms, which Ty said something terrible about.
What do you mean?
You said Will.
Yeah, he likes jerking his Gergen over there.
That's false, Jada just said. We'll see you tomorrow. This has been Wednesday, July 1st, the Pat McAfee Show. Jesus. All right. Our intern, Mitt, is here. Today's show, I'm excited to hear what you do here.
Here we go.
To remind us of everything that we talked about for the last 2 hours is our intern with a mullet. Mullet Mitt's Minutes. Let's go. Good luck, sir. What did he do last time? He did something terrible last time.
Yeah, something despicable.
Yeah, you always have like just a massive crash ending, but today I think you're going to go all the way because your outfit is top five. Yeah. Go ahead.
All right, let's go. It's July 1st, and we're halfway through 2020. Diana Rossini's sources say the Buccaneers are not interested in Antonio Brown. There's no reason for Michael Lombardi to lie to us, so Pat believes AB will be teaming up with Tampa Tom.
Yeah.
Hey,
Good start.
Well
Good start by you, man. Look at you.
Bunch of Crunch and the Crunch Bar are not the same candy.
Bingo.
Don't agree.
Dunked on you.
Steel Sidebottom is facing a 4-game suspension by the AFL after having a good time breaking some COVID guidelines. Happy Bobby Bonilla Day, everyone. Deferred contracts are a great thing, and we went through some hilarious ones, including Kevin Garnett, Ken Griffey Jr., Dion Williams, and many more.
Oh, God.
I assume Dion Williams is X.
Yeah, Darren.
Is this guy kidding?
Yeah, dude, that's unbelievable. He's a friend of the show, by the way.
Yes,
yeah.
Good friend.
A couple times.
You said his name.
Beat him for
I said his name wrong twice, actually.
Yeah, and two different ways to be wrong as well.
Darren Williams. D. Will. That's what we call him.
Yeah.
He doesn't have one of these. I do, but he made a lot of money with one of these, and that's what we were referring to.
Yep.
So that was not a bad run. I mean, what'd you get? Probably the first 4 minutes of the show?
You couldn't even make it to Will Smith being a cuck.
Whoa.
You couldn't even make it there.
Whoa.
What did you have down for that?
Might be his worst
I
minutes.
had Nick thinks Will Smith is a cuck.
Good. Because that's not a factual statement. So the fact that you blame it on Nick is good, especially in this time where Italy is getting busted with $1.12 billion worth of meth.
They busted.
Seriously? Doing the busting.
They busted.
No, where was it going?
Yeah, how'd the cops find
Unlike Will, they busted.
All right. 56 minutes after the hour here. I hope you all have an incredible Wednesday. We return mañana. And I would like to say the guests that we're going to have on the show, not 100% sure they're going to be on, though.
Yeah.
So we
call
can't.
Tariq now?
We can't. Yeah. What happened, do you think?
You think he'll answer?
I know what they told me.
He was working out.
Yeah.
He was in the bathroom.
That's what I would say, too, though. But remember,
I got a theory.
We were told that Mark Cuban couldn't come on because he was doing another interview beforehand. And then when we talked to Mark, it was clearly the first interview he had done.
It was his off day. Today's my off day, so.
And I have used a lot of excuses to get out of having to do things. And if you say, workout, that makes you sound like you're getting better. You're committed to your craft. Yeah. It's actually an easy out. And I would assume he is. He only got 1% body fat. Maybe he did work out, but I feel like we should have been told that. Like, hey, just tell us that he's going to fucking work out, and then the time could come.
It might be a little late. He's working out right
Jason
before.
Terry was awesome, though.
Yeah, love the Jet.
That was a cool conversation with the Jet.
Klay
Coach Jet.
Thompson. People don't talk about Klay Thompson being the reason Kevin Durant actually left OKC. At Game 6, he had 41 points. They won by 7.
And also, Klay Thompson hurt last year, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's why they stunk, because Klay Thompson. Splash Brothers is a real thing. When you just got a Splash Bro, good, novelty.
Me too.
Splash Brothers, it's like the Bash Brothers and Mighty Ducks, pal.
Yeah.
Start winning fucking
They
championships.
had 0 of them. They didn't have any brothers.
Yeah, Steph was out for a while too, right? He came back for a couple games.
Yeah, and then they were like, you know what, Steph, let's try and get a top 3 pick this year. Huh?
So there's COVID coming. Let's fucking. We don't want to go. You want to go down to Orlando 40 days? You know, you and your wife do those photos. You can't do anything.
Begging each other? Yeah, you
Can't do
it.
any photos like that. Whoa.
What?
Enough with the talk.
Arnie Palmer alert.
This show will not.
Can't.
Oh,
Hey, what do you mean?
Whoa.
What do you mean? That was reported.
No.
He just,
no,
it
it was not reported.
He
that-
posted it.
No.
Not me.
What you said too far. What you said too far,
What?
and what you always say too far.
Come on, guys.
I didn't say anything that was too far.
Thank you, Zito.
He posted
It's
the photo.
outrageous.
It is.
I'm calling Tariq.
They post the photos.
It's not his name, by the way. Like maybe he's not answering because you're calling him by the wrong name. But they did spell his name wrong in the press release that they sent to us, though.
Tariq.
Way to go. He wasn't on the show today, though. Do we ever have him back?
I don't know.
I
He
don't
did
know.
call back.
Yeah,
30
we had
minutes
like
late.
4 minutes or something like that at that time. Would have been disrespect to Gumpy, Canada Day, and Tyreek. If we would have answered that, it would have been disrespectful to a country and 2 humans.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it.
So
Good job,
millions of humans, really.
Millions.
Millions!
All right, we're out of here. I got to work out, by the way.
Oh, yeah?
I got to work out quick. I got to get in shape rather fast.
You got to work out.
I do. Hey,
Why don't
summer's coming on.
You should just go play 18.
That's not a workout.
You should walk.
What we do? We played 36 holes this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Legs felt a little sore, I guess. But the no shoes thing is difficult when the water or the ground is damp.
That last day, too.
It's like you're walking in a beach, you know. It's like you're walking in a swamp everywhere. Ravines, that golf course up there, if you're ever in the area, I would recommend it 10 times out of 10.
Fantastic.
Nice.
Play all 18, though.
Yep.
Have to play all 18. Because front 9 is not like ADD. I like to hit the driver course. You got to play a course a little bit. But the people there, from John to Jonas to Wayne to Sean,
Kim.
I called him Jim.
Lindsay?
Did you?
Lauren. I called him.
Kim doesn't mind Jim.
I called Kim Jim because whenever he came up to me, he was so nice, like overly nice. We were
Big smile.
2 golf carts away. He's the starter up there.
Yep.
And I go, "What's your name?" He goes, "Kim." And I heard Jim.
Well, you're probably thinking about the Stallions.
Yes,
Yeah.
because Jim, our driver, and
Saddled
Steve
up,
from the
exactly.
Roadstein.
Yep.
I mean, everybody took care of us this weekend. It was a very good weekend.
It was.
It's
Great
not
weekend.
normal, I don't think, for those types of situations. Like, there's always going to be somebody hate somebody. Somebody's going to fuck up something. Somebody's going to expect something that doesn't happen. I mean, there's always some sort of drama shit that's going to pop off. We didn't have any, I don't think. And we had a large group of people up there.
Yeah, shout out Phil. Phil did an unbelievable job.
CFO
Organizing.
Phil.
Yeah, Phil. Yeah.
I mean, CFO Phil was caught with his pants down a couple different times in certain situations, you know, where there was maybe money needed by people
true.
or
That's right.
payment for things.
Still.
But Phil did a great job.
Yeah, that was the only
Unbelievable
slip
job.
up, really. Too.
That was literally his only slip up, and it would have come like 5 minutes before the money was supposed to be. Phil was out there running around, panhandling in Michigan, trying to figure out how we could pay for these chefs. Turns out we shot a commercial for him. So, so I mean, maybe they should have been paying us for that thing. But that meal was unbelievable. Those chefs are unbelievable.
Yeah, good people.
The only negative thing was what AQ did to the ladies.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
And that's why.
That's why he's banned forever.
He's banned. Yeah. Stern but fair.
Bought 12 pizzas while the entire bachelorette party was in the kitchen making more food than we could ever handle. Just right in their face. Dude.
150 burgers on the grill.
Good, too.
And they were great.
Great burgers.
Dogs were good.
No one's been more happy ever in the history of the world to be ordering pizza at that time.
And then AQ.
Oh,
he was
man.
cackling.
He was laughing
Ear
so
to ear,
hard.
ear to ear smile. He was so pumped about
And then he
it.
started pawning it off on other people. And then late night when people started eating pizza, he's like, "Oh, you see what I did there? See, that was fucking me."
Told you.
Told you it was me.
Told you so.
He's a good dude, man. Somebody called him Big Fat Stooge on the internet, but
He can bomb the ball, too.
AQ can play golf.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't beat me. He plays every
Absolutely.
day, but he can definitely golf well. He's a
two-iron.
Hey, he's a good golfer. Like AQ is a legit golfer.
Yeah. Soft hands.
He like hits like those shots at like shape and shit like that. I do not.
Yeah, he hit one onto the green, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, like a nice shot, AQ." And he was like, "Oh yeah, fuck off." I'm like,
Yeah,
"Oh, AQ, look.
Hey, and he takes it very serious.
Yeah.
Those first 5 holes there, when we got there, and he was playing terrible or whatever. He was nobody should have been around him at that time. Like, he was sweating. Reed was in his cart.
Yeah.
Like Reed, they were not talking. He was like pushing. I had been in that golf cart before. The reason why I'm always in my own golf cart, by the way, is because of AQ Shipley.
What do you do?
Well, if he's not playing good, you are a victim in that golf cart. And your ball doesn't matter, by the way. Like he's going right to his ball. Yeah. We see yours. Go ahead and walk to it. And then if it's bad, his legs are spread wide open. He's like sweating on top of you. It's just. But then once he starts playing good golf, okay, now we're back.
Great time.
And he plays a lot of very good golf. But those first 4 holes, I thought we were in for a long weekend with old AQ Shipley. I really did. But then he was one of the superstars and very hilarious. Until he tried to burn down the entire house by ordering those pizzas.
Yeah, he did leave a fart in one of the rooms that almost cleared it out as well.
Yeah,
and he also blamed it on his cart mate, Reed.
What was that, a beer pong? That was beer pong.
Yeah.
Beer pong was electric.
It's a good time.
Try playing beer pong on like probably 1,000 milligrams of marijuana.
Yeah, it turns out I couldn't. Couldn't get out of a chair.
But you're a great spectator.
Yeah.
You did not move.
No, couldn't.
You watched every single game.
Literally couldn't.
Ty and I were eye to eye in the clouds. And Ty walked over to me at one point. This was before you got planted. And I think you said, like, I can't move or something like that. And I was like, I think I'm up next on here. And you gave me, like, a good lock. And then you sat down right next to the table. And then when I got up there, I looked over at you, and you, like, gave me this look with a head shake. You were like, I have no idea how you're doing what you're doing right now. And I think we won.
I think you did, too.
I think we won the game. I was seeing 45 cups down there. I could barely open my – we have some pictures that I'm probably going to post here. There are some things up there in Michigan in the legal marijuana states that they can get you. They can get you. And I feel like my tolerance is rather high. There was a good 4 to 5 hours on multiple occasions. I could not open my eyeballs up for the life of me. Almost had to hold them open at one point. And it wasn't because I was tired or it's because literally my eyeballs couldn't handle any light coming into them because of what space planet I was on. And you and I were there for a couple of different times, Ty. I appreciate you taking that trip with me.
Yeah, you bet. It was an honor.
Not to mention Billy Tubes on Thursday night. Oh, boy.
Fuck.
Mitt's still salivating over here about the beer pong.
How are you at beer pong? Pretty good, huh? You guys play a lot. I don't play.
I'm really good.
I don't play beer pong much.
Horrible.
I didn't play beer pong growing up either. I was a flip cup.
Really?
I was a flip cup guy. Never played it.
Growing up from jump, you guys were just
Flip
flipping
cup.
cups?
We were a flip cup town. Went into college. Flip cup house in college. I mean, that's just because beer pong is a 4-person max activity.
Yeah.
Flip cup, at least 4 per team activity. So the entire party is lifted by flip cup. Where beer pong, you could potentially have a couple magical moments at the end, but for a majority of it, you got a lot of people sitting around watching, kind of bored.
Yeah.
Flip cup, it's just electricity throughout the entire thing. And then obviously you start doing things you regret, like full cup, flip cup, which I would do plenty of occasion because I was a good chugger. And if, let's say, I was always a good flipper. I feel good about my flipping abilities, but let's say there was a day where I thought maybe I could go 1-2 flips and we were facing off against a good opponent. Then that's where you start with the shit talk, like, oh, I'm going full cup. You going full cup? They're like, I'll go full cup if you're going full cup. It's like, cool with me. And they don't even know, like, this thing's about to disappear. And they're going to be sitting there. In about 3-4 games from now, too, they are going to be very inebriated, and I'm just going to be hitting my stride. So there's a lot of gamesmanship in Flip Cup as well. Who you put where. I think there's a lot of that. And the thing that disrespects Flip Cup the most is they call it Flippy Cup.
Who calls it that?
Middle of America. They call it Flippy Cup. And I think that potentially was a stain on Flip Cup.
Absolutely.
But beer pong, you know, as you get older, a little bit more relaxed, don't need the flip cup environment in your life anymore.
It's a little slower.
It is the sport.
We did play some flip cup as well.
Dominated, undefeated.
Wait. Are you sure you didn't lose?
I didn't lose. In flip cup?
No, yeah.
Did not lose in flip cup.
That's right. Yeah, you didn't.
Did you?
No. No, I didn't.
That was the only time the bachelor and bachelorette parties were near each other while partying was for flip cup. And we beat them, 3 straight?
3-0.
And then they just left.
Yeah, like, oh, this isn't fun playing with you guys.
They always want to do that. They always want to take on the guys at Flip Cup, and it never.
And by the way, we were very humble, too.
Yeah.
I don't think we were chanting.
No,
not at all.
No,
we
not
didn't.
at all.
Just a couple, woo,
woo, woo.
That's it.
Woo, 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 We're not doing that at all.
No.
Sam and her friends were not happy, I would assume. Because I would assume, by the way, they were a good flip cupping team. They were good, but just not good enough.
I mean, you mess with the bull, you're going to get the horns.
Bingo.
I see. You see?
You know?
That's a metaphor.
It is.
We were the bull.
Yes.
We had the horns.
Yes.
And they were flipping the cups fucking quick. That was a good time. Appreciate you all for coming this weekend. I wish everybody could have came, including you, Mitt. Would have had to pull your body out of the lake, I'm sure.
Yeah, probably a couple times.
At some point. We'll be back manana. This has been the Pat McAfee Show, Canada Day, Bobby Bonilla Day. Not even flexing. Not even flexing. Is that a thigh on your fucking arm? Nope.
Sure looks like it.
Nope, just my bicep burr.
Wow, really?
It is getting pretty big, isn't it? If I could diet more, that would get like a nice.
Yeah, diets stink though.
Diets stink.
That's why it's die-T.
Yeah. And hell, thee. You know?
How about that?
It's hell. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's not easy, okay? I've done the keto here the last 2 days to try to make up for what I did to my body the weekend. But like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, though. What's the old sweet tooth craving?
You got Rice Krispies and
Fuck it. Maybe Bunch of Crunch, but never a fucking Crunch Bar, I'll tell you that.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the same thing. So congratulations.
It's not.
Congrats,
And the show is over.
Congrats, Crunch Bar.
And the show is over. Hope you guys have a great day. Cheers. Tell your friends to subscribe. We're on our march to 1 million. We're going to do a massive giveaway whenever we get there. We appreciate you. Have a great day. Cheers.